WIIFTV PM.
WIIFTVP. Media's just for you and me. WIIFTVP. Media's just for you and me.
Jackson.
If you could make up a social media holiday, what would it be?
Randy said National Don't Let No One Put You Down Day.
No one. What you gonna do? So when they say something crazy, you slap them?
Be like me said. Randy said a Juke-a-thon Day.
Man, we about 60 years old. I be done had a heart
You gotta get your heart rate up.
Okay, not that far.
Yeah. All right, Mario said my favorite one. My friends and I do what we call National Call Off from Work Day.
As a business owner, I don't.
You don't like that, yeah.
I don't like that one.
Because I'm the boss of this family.
We got Marcus Garvey Day from Remy too.
Oh, Marcus Garvey Day. All right, what will we do on Marcus Garvey Day?
Call off from work.
I'm going to need you to go ahead and come in tomorrow. That would be great. Okay?
Yeah, right.
Well, every black holiday has something to do with calling off from work.
You're cool. I'm out.
How about National Join a Positive Black Organization Day? Because I don't want to be recruited. I don't want to be recruited and the brothers be like, thank you. Thank you. How about National Tell White People the Truth Day? Tell them how you really feel.
You can't handle the truth.
Why don't we call that National Black People Get Locked Up Day?
I'm going to tell them there's an African-American man threatening my life.
Hello.
The most dangerous show in the morning.
If you're a business professional, have you ever wanted to multitask on your way to an important meeting instead of navigating through traffic? Fellowship Fleet Limousine and Bus Company is your solution for chauffeured ground transportation. Our company provides sedans, SUVs, stretch limousines, vans, and buses for corporate travel, airport transfers, and group shuttles. If you're a corporate travel manager, individual business professional, event or meeting planner, relax. Let us take the wheel. Visit fellowshipfleet.com to book right now.
Gave you my love. I tell you what I do. I'd expect a whole lot of love out of you. You got to treat me good. I'll be good to you. There's a whole lot of things you and I could do, baby. When you get right down to it, yeah. You're beautiful, and I wouldn't change one thing about you, yeah. Oh, 'cause you're beautiful, and I don't mind telling the world about you, yeah. You're beautiful. And what about the way you love me? right there by your side. Simply beautiful. Yeah. You're beautiful. I wouldn't change nothing about you. Yeah. 'Cause you're beautiful. Yeah. When you get right down to it. When you get right down to it. Yeah. When you get right down to it. You're beautiful. I don't mind the world knowing about you. You're beautiful. And I don't care what the magazines say. I don't care what the magazines say. You're beautiful, simply beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You're beautiful. Mother, there's too many of you crying. Brother, there's far too many of you dying. You know we got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Father, we don't need to escalate. War is not the answer, 'cause only love can conquer hate. You know we got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Picket lines, picket signs, don't punish me. Brutality, talk to me so you can see what's going on, what's going on, what's going on. I wanna know what's going What's going on? What's going on?
WIFTVPM.
Uh-oh, what's in it for the black people?
You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Ty Stroger, I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Maze said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case, he was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gonna sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends, DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Wake up, Chicago! Wake up, world. This is almost the last Maze Jackson show. It's hitting me, Reese. You know when it hit me today?
When you woke up.
When I woke up.
You ain't got to tell.
I was like, hold up.
Hey, you thought one more day, didn't you?
I was thinking like, man.
I did the same thing.
I was like, I ain't gonna have to, you know.
And it wasn't even a bad wake up at all, neither. It wasn't it. Like, I woke up easily, peacefully. But I sure was like, hey, I only got to do this tomorrow. That's crazy.
It's and I haven't put super lot of thought into what's next as far as how we gonna deal with, you know, everything, the podcast. I say probably won't be back with the podcast till mid-May, something like that. We got to figure out a day. We got to figure out a time. Still trying to decide. I'm gonna make Reese. Hey y'all, I'm gonna make Reese write me some reports, so I could see if we gonna make him a lobbyist tonight. I'm not sure yet, but I'm thinking about it. I might have to make a wardrobe check because you know I'm scared. You know Reese from out west. Well, you know he from that. You know I don't want to wear his MLD clothes. You know because you know we
went to church every Sunday, so I'm already hip. You know, so y'all, you know I'm already hip.
Yeah, but I'm gonna see your Easter suit. What I want you to do is put on your Easter suit, and I'm gonna know what I'm gonna do with you by the Easter suit you wear. So if your joint is peach, green, or purple,
one of those loud colors you got.
You got to start off. We gonna have to think about it.
The Stacey Adams on that,
right? Oh, and you got the Gator Stacey Adams to match.
Yeah, the Gator.
How you got peach Stacey Adams Gators? Huh? It's all right though. I love my people. That's
out west for you.
I love my people. Now I would be talking and chatting a lot, but we got I'm excited. We're gonna be talking to Eddie Johnson today, former police chief. Because there's a lot going on, a lot of conversations. Did y'all see his special on Sunday? The police special where they did the last 3 police chiefs, superintendents. They did Jody Weiss, McCarthy, and Eddie Johnson, and discussing the police and crime and all that. I think it was really a infomercial at some point to really try and reinforce. I got a lot of thoughts, but I'm gonna keep it to myself. Y'all might have to get my book. I done told y'all too much. I'm gonna have to put it in a book so y'all can't read it. All right, y'all. So it's the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, on this next to the last day of the Maze Jackson Show. And actually, Reese, this is the last day in the studio. It's the last day in the studio. Which means, recently we done went from, I should have pulled down the joint so we could have went back to the, but I know we moved, but, behind the scenes, I was thinking, maybe I take these bad boys down, maybe I clip them down for a day so we could go back to the old graffiti side. Remember how we used to be? Let me see. Should I break? I ain't gonna even do it. I was gonna be like, because y'all know we moved, right? But we ain't moved that far, but we did move. Remember, Reese, we had the circle table. Man, matter of fact, when we first started, I'm going to have to bring back some of the old clips because we was broadcasting in that room. And Sonya was standing on a crate on this room. Speaking of that, we're going to be talking to Sonya tomorrow, too. Todd will be in. Couldn't get Ruthie. She said she had to work. So stay tuned because I'm going to tell you a little bit about the last broadcast. Hope y'all be there for the live broadcast tomorrow. 5401 South Wentworth. Come through, say a little something, get you a little. We don't talk about it all. But anyway, in the meantime, let me say what's up to my man, DJ Riis the Ruler on the ones and twos. DJ Riis the Ruler, how you feeling?
Blessed by the best. You already know the rest, man. But I can't believe it, man. It's crazy.
We done came a long way, Reese.
Mm-hmm.
And man, you stuck. I'm gonna say this, man. Y'all know I'm a hard guy to work for. Cause I press, and I know Reese come in at 2 minutes before, so that drives me nuts. But Reese, thank you, bro.
Appreciate you, man. I'll be ready.
Nah, man.
You know about me today, man.
I was running. I was moving slow today, right? I wasn't on my rush, so I didn't walk down the steps. I didn't forget about you. I just was still writing. And then I looked up and I was like, oh.
And we got a ghost in here.
Oh, man, and we got a ghost. Did you come here yesterday? Somebody got some keys somewhere around here floating, and they used them last night. We came in here, and the bar light was on.
Plugged up, turned off.
I was like, was they having a party here last night?
You could have asked me, but I asked them first. Like,
you turned that on? I was like, hold on, I was about to ask you, did you turn it on? Anyway, so much going on. It is the Maze Jackson Show. I got to tell you, it is, for as hard of a time as I give people, you know what I'm saying, to get up and be here every day at 4:30. I mean, at 5:58 and a half every day. Reese, I appreciate you, man. I'm grateful. No drama, no stress. Keep it light. You know what I'm saying? So I do appreciate you, brother. But how you feeling today, man? You good?
Yeah, man. Blessed, man. Back to the regular schedule. I ain't been to the regular schedule in like a minute. Back for doing my double duty.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so it's a good day, man. It's a good day.
Man, you tell both fields they should have made us a pan. We should have had us a pan in the morning. You bring it with you.
You know what they gonna eat some ribs there early.
Hey man,
you never know.
Hey man, it might not be real. I mean, you think I don't know, but man, both fields. You better tell your brother I said
I got you.
He should put something on the you dig tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe it's some potato salad. Maybe it's some coleslaw. I don't know what it is. But I got to tell you, man, this is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson, with my man, DJ Riis, the Ruler. Reese, we got so much to talk about. Let's do this. Let's get the soul plane up to 60,000 feet. Let's get it up, and away so I can get through these headlines because I want to really talk about some things. So first of all, check this out. The mayor-elect today at 1:30 meets the mayor. How you think that's going to go?
Cordial. It's gonna be good.
I think it's definitely gonna be cordial. They said it's 1:30. By 2:15 they're gonna have a press conference or press availability. Now I wonder will they stand there together? Because CTU was like the big thorn in her side the whole time. So on the low key, a lot of people that were close to the mayor said she was not rooting for our brother. Said she was rooting for the other guy, for Paul. But she kept her mouth shut.
Yeah. She for sure didn't say nothing about who she wanted to win.
Because she wanted to be the mayor. Shit.
She like, me?
Right. Who you? Me.
Me? I'm going there. I'm going to write my name in.
Yeah. I wonder, did she vote?
She wrote Lori Lightfoot in.
It wasn't even a space on there this time for her writing. Okay. Right. Don't forget, tomorrow, final show, 5401 South Wentworth at the TP Hope Big Swill let us in. He probably should be smart. Hey, there'll be some What's in It for the Black People hoodies and T-shirts and all that stuff there as well. So if you did not get any merch and you want to get some merch, bring your $25 or your $50 because we're going to be having them all ready to go. Automatic races still too close to call, Reese, some of them. 2 firefighters, turn off the music real quick. 2 firefighters in 2 days have died in fires. I want to say rest in peace, and we want to show them some honor and respect because, hey, Reese, you ever seen a fire?
Yep.
You don't run to it, you run away from it, and they have to run to it. So to those 2 firefighters that gave up their lives working for some or trying to save someone else, we want to give you a moment of silence. All right. Let's see what else we got. JB finally speaks up. I got to say what's up to Stacey MFNG, who called it way back in the day. I was like, what? You mean you don't think that Governor Pritzker got on and said that there's a sea change in politics in the Midwest and that we are becoming a more liberal space? I'm going to tell you, Reese, this is the reason. This is the reason, Reese, that I really think the DNC is coming to Chicago. Now we got a black man mayor. JB offered to pay for the whole thing. And I do think that our mayor-elect Brandon Johnson is now a national superstar. I wasn't for all the national people, but I guess my thing is now it's on and popping. And the reality is Chicago is now the flagship of the progressive movement. So we need to watch and see how we can benefit from that. Did y'all see Save-A-Lot tried to open up yesterday in Inglewood? And they was like, hell no, we don't want your store. Hell no, we don't want your store. Hell no, we don't want your store. Black Inglewood showed up. And look, Reese, you know you was going to have a grand opening. What Jay say? Grand opening, grand closing.
That fast, huh?
They was like, hold on. Huh?
So what they do?
So they was going to have a soft grand opening, and Alderman Stephanie Coleman, Ray Lopez, and Jeanette Taylor took a group of residents who was like, we don't want this bull in our store. So the Save-A-Lot thing, like, Reese, I've never shopped at Save-A-Lot.
I have. I grew up by one.
How is it?
It's all right. This is like a bootleg Aldi's, and Aldi's already bootleg, so.
Really?
Yeah.
So now it's the third tier because that's not even a Save-A-Lot. It's a yellow banana Save-A-Lot, which is after Save-A-Lot comes in, opens up the grocery store and the food service area. Then, Reese, what they do is when they use up the subsidy, then they flip it to the black version of it. And so Stephanie Coleman says she don't want it because they put it in the old Inglewood space, in the old Whole Foods. Hey, recent Whole Foods pulled up out that mug and left everything. They left the grills, the everything. They was like, we just closing the store. Y'all can have everything in it. We ain't even think about it. So we're gonna watch how. Well, I guess we won't be watching how that unfolds. Y'all will be watching how it unfolds. Cause me, I'm gonna be minding my business. The business buzz. What is going on, Reese? I was talking to some business people yesterday, and they are a little nervous. Talking about some, when something like this happened the last time was Detroit, and I'm not going for the whole Detroit narrative. So if white businesses pull up out of Chicago, black businesses should look at it as an opportunity, and I want to know, are we ready to take advantage of it? I'm not going for the whole, if Brandon Johnson is the mayor, we gonna leave. Now, I'm not saying they won't do it, but I'm saying we better be ready to take their spot and make that money. Man, Reese, the more I get, the more information, people dropping me all types of campaign insights from the Vallis campaign. Hey, Reese, can I ask you a question? How can you be best friends with the ops and then be the deputy on the other team? You think you was working for the ops the whole time? So, Riis, if you my best friend and I'm in charge of the opposition's campaign, let's back up. If I am how does the deputy campaign manager of the Vallis campaign best friends with the political director for the Johnson campaign? Not best, but second best. Close. Like, you think, what you think, man? I feel like that was a setup. Like, and then everybody like, wait a minute. Well, I found out because she was out there talking crazy yesterday on Friday night. On Tuesday night, I was somewhere minding my business, and this lady calls me racist. Somebody says Maze Jackson, and the next thing she's like, he's a racist, homophobic, anti-Semitic, blah, blah, blah. This is a black person. Like, what? Turns out she's best friends with the campaign, with Brandon Johnson's campaign. See, Riis, if we can't talk. Like, when it's campaign time, it can't. Where you come from?
How you know they was talking in between? You think they was having a conversation in between?
I think they put her there. That's what I would do. Hey, man, one more kudos to the Brandon Johnson campaign because they ran almost a flawless campaign. And April 15th, somebody told me a lot of the answers to what is going on or what happened will be revealed on April 15th. You know what April 15th is, right, Riis? It's the day the D2s come out. And so you can see everybody who got paid, what they got paid, how they got paid. Now, there's going to be other stuff because there's other, like there was shell companies that paid other people. Man, it's like, can I tell you what I'm so grateful for? That I will not be on air because I probably wouldn't be able to keep my mouth shut. But boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's just amazing to me what happens. All right, y'all. This is the Maze Jackson Show. Those are my headlines. Riis, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come right back because we got to do the birthday song, and then I got to get into the social media question of the day, which I think is really important and potent. And Riis, can you find the matter of fact, I'll tell you about it after I'm going to come and tell you the thing, but let's take a quick break. Did we get the soul plane up? We got it up, right? Because I thought we was at 60,000 feet. I thought things was looking a little smaller. All right, let's get this thing. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be back after these messages.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break. Maze Jackson.
Tune in to the Maze Jackson Show every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m., where you can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Plus, from 6:30 to 8, you can get us on WBGX 1570 AM. That's right, it's the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them, Maze said. We out of here. Peace.
Hey, Chicagoland, all roads lead to Solo Beauty Supply, the largest black-owned beauty supply in Chicago. We carry a large selection of natural hair care products, plus much more. So come see us at one of our two locations, located at 9011 South Ashland or 8158 South Cottage Grove. Our inventory is growing, and with your support, Solo Beauty will continue to be a source of pride in our community.
Maze Jackson.
Byron, you got a nomination for the vice president of the phone club.
Say what?
Dang, Byron. Look, Tennille done nominated you for the vice president of the phone club. Riis has seconded. All those in favor of Byron being the vice president of the phone club signify by saying aye. Go once, going twice. And you are now officially the vice president of the phone club. So Byron, we will be expecting to hear from you regularly. So you and Katie will have an exec board meeting and let us know the rules of engagement on the phone. And Riis is now in your number one fan club. But you got to remember whose show it is, Byron. Don't forget, because Riis will have you thinking. You know how these millennials will do.
I know who paid the bills. Who paid the bill?
Maze Jackson.
It's the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace.
And now, traffic and weather.
Yo, who said devotion have to be sad? Yo, check this out. The Lord is my shepherd, I want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restored my soul. God's gonna turn it around.
Come all the way with me.
Good morning. What's in it for the Black People Media family? The time is now 6:36 a.m. I'm Riis the Ruler with your Chicagoland area sports traffic and weather update. As we head over to sports, the Bulls will lose to the Bucks 105-92 as the Bucks will clinch the number 1 seed in the East. Chase gets his first win as the Sox beat the Giants 7-3. Let's head over to traffic now on the Kennedy. O'Hare to the Loop will be 46 minutes outbound to O'Hare will be 18 on the Edens. From Deerfield to the Exchange, 41 minutes. Exchange to Deerfield will be 28. The Eisenhower, 44 minutes. Thorndale to the Loop, 30 minutes back out to Thorndale. On the Stevenson, from I-355 to the Dan Ryan will be 42 minutes. Outbound will be 30. The Bishop Ford, I-80 to the Dan Ryan, 33 minutes. 28 minutes to I-80, while the Dan Ryan is 18 minutes to the Loop. 12 minutes to 95th. On DuSable Drive, north and south, everything is locked in at 8 minutes. Today's weather, it is currently 33 and sunny. Today will be a high of 53 with a low of 33. I'm Riis the Ruler. Happy Thursday here on The Maze Jackson Show.
To the green, from the green, back to glory. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. God's gonna turn around. Come on. With me, don't leave me now. Come all the way with me. Oh, please. God's gonna turn it around. God's gonna turn it around.
Listening to the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man DJ Riis the Rule on the ones and twos. And Riis, you know it's about that time we welcome the Saints from WBGX 1570 AM. That's right, the Saints from WBGX 1570 AM. Join us every day, Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 8 AM. 6:30 to 8 AM every day, Monday through Friday on WBGX 1570. Or you can do like Big John, Austin, and Sister Zakia and download the TuneIn app from your App Store, your Google Play Store. Punch in 1570 AM and you can listen to us anywhere in the world. Now, if you are an early rising saint or a sinner, then you join us every day, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. That's right, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Make sure you give us a, hey man, now this is the last day. We're going to be right here. Send some stars. You can hit us a super chat, but show us a little love today as we go out with a big bang. All right, y'all. Riis, I gotta move a little fast today because I definitely want to get to all this stuff. And this next question is something I want to talk to, but I gotta say happy birthday. And before I get into this, Erica, go shake up my dog, my boy, Josh. That's our birthday song? All right, okay, hold on. You got the instrumental version? Yeah. All right, so don't, just hold it up. We're gonna come back. So, wake up, Josh, because it's about time for us to do the birthday song. Right, but we gonna do the Twister version. Adrenaline rush. Man, I need psychodrama in here. I swear I need I want to hear. I wish I could have got Buck inside and all of them because it's the birthday. So happy birthday to Charles Thomas, not that Charles Thomas. V's Journey, Susan Peters, Nate Grant. Susan Peters, rest in peace. Nate Grant, Monroe Anderson, Jamila Tremule, and Vicky Kaprinsky. Look, y'all, happy birthday. And yesterday we missed Josh's birthday. Josh went from being a kid to a teenager. From 12 to 13, Riis, that's when they be smelling theyself. Josh, you better listen to your mama. I'm going to tell you what. Because it's your birthday. Yeah, it's your birthday. birthday. It's your birthday. Birthday.
Another one.
A. Charles, V's Journey, Susan Peters, Nate Grant, Monroe Anderson, Jamila Tremure, and Vicky Kaprinsky. It's your birthday, and we showing you love. Yes. It's your birthday. Yes.
Another one.
It's your birthday. Yes. It's your birthday. Yes. It's your birthday. Now, if I could talk so fast and say happy birthday, I'll be doing it real quick. But I can't do it, so I'm going to talk my tongue real slick. It's your birthday. Your birthday. Happy birthday. If I was Twister, I'd say happy birthday. It's your big birthday. It's your it's your birthday. How you doing? Did you say happy birthday? Happy birthday to you all. It's your birthday. Is your adrenaline rushing on your birthday? It's your birthday. Yes.
Another
it's your
one.
Birthday. Yes. Let me tell you real quick. I'm gonna say this stuff, and then I'm gonna do a tongue quick tip trick. I'm the happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you, and you. Happy birthday. I be saying it's your birthday. You be saying my day. It's your birthday. Happy birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your happy birthday. It's your birthday. If you out west, it's your birthday. If you out south, and it's your birthday. If you up north, and it's your birthday. Yo, you over east. It's your effing birthday. It's your birthday. Your birthday. Your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Birthday. Yeah, man, it's your birthday. So happy birthday to everybody who had a birthday. Josh, I hope you enjoyed your birthday yesterday. You know the family love you, man. So you make sure you represent. You know what I'm saying? Do your thing, man. Do your thing. Thank y'all. It's your birthday. All right, Reese. I'm gonna need you to hit the button. I'm not gonna go into the long thing. Yeah, I'm ready to ask the question.
It's time for the social media question of the day.
Reese, how do you define a sellout? And the reason that I'm asking this is because, did you see that meme that went out?
They had all
where they put all the people's faces on there and said, never forget the sellouts. Yeah. Do me a solid real quick. Play the clip I told you to play.
Of all the African Americans I can think that are sort of like qualified and vetted, and people will say, "Oh, that's a pretty good pick." The one that is least offensive and maybe gets you the most because it gets you that Secretary of State appointment is Jesse White.
So that was a pretty rough statement, right, Reese? Like, Jesse White aside, that was pretty rough. And I'm really not trying to kick it off with the governor at this point because, I'm trying to be cool with everybody. But I did think that it was, Reese, I found it interesting that all of those people who supported Paul Vallis are now being redefined as sellouts regardless of what they've done. Now, I know y'all beat up the alderman regardless, but for y'all to put Willie Wilson down as a sellout, that's a big step, right? Because quite frankly, there's nobody, and I gotta say, nobody who can match Willie Wilson's giving to black people. Nobody. Emo Jones, you might not like him, but he made a lot of black people money. But I was really thinking about this. So I'm going to say Gloat Day was yesterday. But I was thinking, because I asked who made the meme, and I'm not gonna name no names today, but the person who made the meme actually supported Paul Vallis in the last election. And I really think that there is an extreme amount of zeal that black people are taking in defining these people as quote unquote sellouts that we can never forget. But y'all ain't gonna never forget. But so many of the people that I've been seeing running around here, like I saw a post yesterday by somebody who posted and was like, talking about the people who endorsed Paul Vallis. Again, trying to keep up this thing. I'm okay with Gloat Day, right? Like, I'm okay with Gloat Day. I'm okay with we won, you lost, you won, we lost, you won, we won. But this over decision to castigate and cast these people in this manner is really blowing the hell out of me. Because Riis, all the same up is on the JB train. So, if I saw your ass standing up there with JB Pritzker at any point, I'm past it. Like, I'm past it. I'm not. But how many of y'all went to go see Bruno Mars? How many of y'all was like? How are we gonna define sellout? The last time I saw such an outburst of selloutness was when Mike Madigan paid black people and white people to come into the black neighborhood and call Ken Duncan a sellout. And white people was walking around black Chicago in a black neighborhood calling a Negro man a sellout, and Negroes accepted it. Now, you know who paid for the shirts? Mike Madigan. I was looking at a post yesterday where I saw a former state legislator who was brought into the game by Jesse Jackson Jr. and ended up 100% voter with Speaker Mike Madigan. So Riis, all these people talking about these brothers and sisters for calling them sellouts for making a political decision, right? It's really blowing me. Like, I'm not the biggest Jamal Green. First of all, I think he did the most in coming up as a candidate. I also think that you go to places, you look at your political self-interest. But this concept of everybody being a sellout when y'all niggas ain't never said nothing to Mike Madigan. Riis, like, it's so crazy to me because everybody will talk smack but won't say nothing. When it was all good, they ain't never said a word, Riis. Never. Right now, you are watching and reading all these things that happened under the guise, and y'all was all good with it. Y'all ain't never said nothing. I'm bothered by the willingness of us to castigate us when 90% of y'all vote with the white boy anytime else. I think Dr. Wilson was kind of in a certain way right. So Riis, I gotta go down this list. So does being a sellout mean that you don't support the black candidate? How do you define sellout?
In this moment?
Yes.
And in this moment,
No, wait. Because it can't be this moment. It has to be overall. Like if the term sellout has to have in the dictionary, you can't go in the dictionary and be like, this week sellout means it's in the book and it's what it is. So either you support the black candidates all the time, or you don't. But you can't call somebody well, let me not say what you can't do.
It's just easy to do it. So.
Riis. Open up the phone lines. Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. Because, if sellout means you didn't support the black candidate, you don't support the black candidate. Well, family, every single one of, not every single one, Riis. Remember when they made Richard Irvin the Negro? Remember when they niggerized Richard Irvin?
Mm-hmm.
But he was a Republican.
I was going to say, you had to pull a Republican.
Okay, so let's say Democrat. So if there is a white and a black Democrat running for the same spot, are you a sellout if you don't support the black one?
And they win, yeah. Yeah.
What if they lose because you didn't support them? No, I'm saying.
Well, I said it's easy to say now in hindsight,
No, because I guess my question is, because, I got a whole list of, if that's the case, I got a whole list of sellouts. I need to understand, like, family, not one person that's talking all this smack now ever said one word to Speaker Madigan, to J.B. Pritzker, to Ed Burke. As a matter of fact, a significant amount of the black people that are using and sharing this meme would, in my estimation, if y'all didn't say or see nothing during the time when that tape came out, play it again one more time for me. Because I just want to make sure I'm clear. Because if I saw your picture, if I saw you standing up there taking selfies and cheesing, while somebody said, play it, go ahead.
Of
play.
all the African Americans I can think that are sort of like
all the
qualified
African
and
Americans,
people vetted, and people will say, oh, that's a pretty good pick. The one that is least offensive and maybe gets you the most because it gets you that Secretary of State appointment is Jesse White.
Now, y'all dog Jesse White for standing up for J.B. Pritzker, and then y'all asses turned around and voted for him. And I'm not, let me be clear, this is not a rail on J.B. Pritzker. This is selective outrage, selective name calling. Like, and if the originator of this meme So Richard Robinson says, sellout means you had an opportunity to support something to benefit the group and made a choice to support something that only supports your needs or wants. Yeah, so then how did that work with the governor? And how did that work?
See, but the governor, they would have had to pull a, like he didn't go against the black man, and only because he said that, and because he said that it was either vote for JB or vote for
no. That was that when that happened, it was vote for JB or vote for Chris Kennedy, and Willie Wilson was in that race, running as a Democrat.
See, they sold out then.
No, because it's all these smart people that, like, I'm looking at these posts and I'm like, nigga, didn't I just see you standing up taking selfies, running around taking pictures like Riis? See, I got a whole list, but this, so the Negro preachers that's running around sharing it? When y'all stand up behind the great white hopes, is that sellout? When y'all don't say, so let me ask a question. How many people, when the cannabis passed and black people got cut out, acted like that wasn't even a real thing and was standing there with the governor? And again, this is not about the governor, but it's amazing to me that we are so willing. We want to throw around the word sellout over a political decision when most of y'all ain't even got the courage to make a pick. And if you got the courage to make a pick, you ain't gonna do nothing about it. You ain't gonna stand on it. You gonna post a picture on social media, right? I think it is way too funny, way too easy, and way too simple-minded. And I swear to God, if that meme was created by who it was told me to be, hey fam, didn't you 4 years ago stand up and support Paul Vallis against the will of your people? But y'all like but y'all know. Yeah, it is a very effective tactic and a very effective tool. But I think for you to take the time to make if y'all mugs can say never forget, Reese, they have a meme out that says never forget. Hey, hope to the victor go the spoils. But man, is that me?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's why I was on the list. I think we need to turn that and do the phone thing and do the phone thing too.
The phone thing.
It's not on.
It's not. It hung up on me. All right. So I really want that meme to die. And the reason I want the meme to die is because you don't get nothing. That don't help you. Never forget. Never forget we still ain't got a freaking weed dispensary. Oh, my bad. We got one. If I told you who got it, though, then you'll be like, oh. Wasn't there a giant controversy 4 years ago about a big organization that was pro-black that supported Paul Vallis against the recommendations of their organization? I feel like I remember that being a big thing, and the whole organization busted up. And so now, Reese, I want to understand the whole concept of this sellout, and why is it so important to never forget those people, but y'all niggas will take a picture all day long standing up there. Man, whether it's Madam President Tony Preckwinkle, they don't always support the black candidate. They don't. Now, my point is not, I'm congratulating Brandon Johnson. Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson. But I need to understand that. Where is that coming from?
It gotta be you. I don't know, because I hear it too. I thought you turned it
I got it. I need to understand, how do you define a sellout? And the reason that I'm asking that, oh, Jesus. What is going on with this phone? And we need this bad boy on. Reese, this phone is blowing me, man. I got a notice the other day to say I could trade it in. I'm going to go trade it in and give me a new iPhone, and I'm going to use it. But I really want to understand the concept. I want to understand this. Y'all calling people, like the fact that you took the time. Do y'all remember 4 years ago? Who made the meme? Can y'all tell me who made the meme? Because it's making its rounds. Anybody out there know who made the meme?
You think somebody like actually in political made the meme? That could be just been anybody. You think like a...
No. I mean, we know who made the meme. This is Eddie Johnson calling now. Hold on.
Because he's in here and you got to do the phone thing. That's why he calling in.
Okay. That's what I'm trying to get it in right now. Hold on, Reese. Got it? All right. So I want to understand who is a sellout. And again, the hypocrisy, because a lot of people have told me who made that meme. Was a former supporter. And I understand that Mayor-elect Johnson caught a wave. But why can't people have made a political decision that they felt would allow them to advance? If I say we should have people on both sides, is the answer that they are now sellouts I feel like they would have tried to serve the best interests of the community had the other guy won. Then we would have had to go to them. But you lost. I'm okay with the gloat day. But this whole sellout thing, it's the whole give us Barabbas. Look, y'all, we got to take a quick break. Reese, literally a minute. I want you to hit one spot. We're going to come back to this question. But we got Eddie Johnson on the line. So we're going to talk to him because they said that the police are all leaving, and I want to talk about it with him. All right, y'all. It's the Maze Jackson Show. We're going to come back to this question, but that was the social media question of the day. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back, and we'll be talking to former police superintendent Eddie Johnson, because I want to know what we're going to do about the police now that they are threatening to leave. Look, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. We'll be right back.
The Maze Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break. Maze Jackson.
Tune in to the Maze Jackson Show every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 9 a.m., where you can catch us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Plus, from 6:30 to 8, you can get us on WBGX 1570 a.m. That's right, it's the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them, Maze said. We out of here. Peace.
To the Maze Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Maze Jackson. Maze Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For the black people, cause economically we are not equal. Waking up to lies, can't doze no more. I told y'all, yeah, this a dangerous show. Don't go to church if you ain't trying to help us. Don't even try to be around and can't protect us. We see the lies, not other politicians. We need money and no symbolism. It's Maze and Reese and Ruthie and Ty, explaining how we all come from God, giving us tools to beat the odds. If we united, our movement gon' stop. If they ain't tryna help us, they ain't tryna do nothing. We gotta do something, we gotta stop running. It's time to confront the problem. Really, you expect you oppressed to solve them.
Wake up, world. This is the Maze Jackson Show. I'm your host, Maze Jackson. Got my man DJ Riis on the ones and twos. But y'all, I'm excited to have a conversation because one of the biggest things that happened during this mayoral election was the issue of public safety. And I don't know if y'all had the opportunity to see on last Sunday morning, but former police superintendent Eddie Johnson, Gary McCarthy, and Jody Weiss, the three former police chiefs, superintendents, were on, and they were discussing crime. Then we saw last week FOP President John Catanzara suggest that if Brandon Johnson won, there would be blood in the streets, which I think was very inflammatory and really served as another talking point that probably assisted Brother Johnson in overcoming or reinforcing that that's not what people meant. Now, Catanzara later went and said that he didn't mean that there were going to be police in the street shooting people down. He meant that there was going to be a mass exodus of Chicago police officers, thus allowing the crime to increase. That stated, man, I want to talk about this because I did talk to quite a few black police officers, and they would stop in, and I'd be like, who you voting for? And they'd say, I'm voting for Paul Vallis. And I'd be like, why? And they'd say, because he's for us, right? He understands what we got going on in the streets, blah, 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 blah. Now, I got to tell you, I know that Mayor Lightfoot trashed his legacy, or tried to trash his legacy. But I got to tell you, that probably one of the most admired or at least respected police chiefs, and who I feel like really had a rapport with our community, was Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson. And so I think that I'd like to get some perspective on this conversation, because I was just going to talk about the great exodus of Chicago police, but I want to get like somebody who kind of knows what's going on and maybe see if there's a way that he can help provide some understanding. So live with us on the Maze Jackson Show is former police superintendent and member of the greatest fraternity in the world, Eddie Johnson. Welcome back, Frat. How you doing this morning, man?
I'm good, Mom. I'm good, man. And thank you for those kind words. I really appreciate that. And I have to tell you, Maze, since I left the department from day one, man, everywhere I go in the city, I get those kind of props. So I appreciate the city of Chicago supporting me and helping me get through some difficult times. So I just wanted to say that up front.
Hey, man, well, guess what? I'm not going to say you got to dance a jig, but I danced a jig for you in February, when Mayor Lightfoot, who I know on so many occasions you saved her butt, played you bogus. But that's neither here nor there right now, because we are now walking into a place. You know, sometimes I gotta kick a little dirt, but but we are now at a place where we have another black mayor who is entering into the city of Chicago at a time when the perception, maybe it's not the reality, but the perception of crime is at its worst in years. And so what I want to do is I want to get some perspective from somebody, because now you probably had the time to take the helicopter up and just watch kind of what's going on, and kind of tell me, how did we get here? Because it seemed like there was a time that we were crime was on the decline during your era. We were in a very stressful time because we had the Laquan McDonald situation, and we had to restore trust in the community. And in some kind of way, you seem to have navigated that space. Talk to me about how we got here, brother.
Okay, so you are right. You know, I came in on the tail end of the Laquan McDonald incident, and that first year we ended up with about 700 murders, and violent crime spiked that year. By the time I left, we had gotten it down under 500, which I'm very proud of. We still weren't where we wanted to be, but we saw significant decreases every year that I was there. And, you know, the data clearly shows that. Another thing that people don't know is I think somewhere around 2011, 2012, we had over 100 police-involved shootings in the city, and with about 24 deaths, if I'm not mistaken. It might not be quite accurate, but it's close. When I left in 2019, I think that year we had about 13 police-involved shootings and maybe 1 death. So there was a significant reduction. And I'm only mentioning that to say this, that it can be done. So I think what happened in the city is initially when I left, remember Charlie Beck came in on an interim basis, and he started to rearrange the Chicago Police Department, how it was structured. And that was a huge mistake, in my opinion, because what that did was took a lot of officers out of specialized units that they had been working for years to get into. And now you know, because the mayor at the time wanted that. But what that did was it started to plummet morale. And so that didn't help. And, you know, so morale was already tanking because of that, because a lot of officers were just dismayed on what was going on internally.
But let me back up right there.
On the heels.
Let me stop you right there real quick, though. But they were dismayed, and was the morale because they couldn't kill people anymore?
No, no. I think, you know, I'll be honest with you, Maze. That first 7 to 8 months that I became superintendent was a bit rough because I had to start changing the mindset of officers. You know, like and a quick example of that would be police officers shooting at vehicles. You know, we've never been able to shoot at vehicles unless they were used as a weapon against you. But the simple fact is this: the last time I checked, vehicles can't go sideways. So if the vehicle is coming at you, the simple solution is to move to the side, you know, because the problem with shooting into a vehicle, unless somebody's shooting out of it or they're using it as a weapon, is that you don't know most of the time who's in that vehicle. So you could have small children in a vehicle and you're firing at it. Now, you know, don't get me wrong. If somebody is firing out of the vehicle at you, you have to do what you have to do. But I'm just using that in general.
Okay.
So what happened was, I think officers, when I came on board, you know, I was taking immediate actions when officers did things that I thought were inappropriate or in violation. And I don't know if you remember this, but in 2016, we killed a 17-year-old black man in a stolen vehicle on the South Side. And that happened on a Thursday night, July 28th of 2016, Thursday night. And I had relieved those police officers of their police powers, and FOP was upset about that. And I said, look, the video isn't going to change. I said, so I'm going to sit them down, put them on the sideline, and then we'll let the investigation play out. And I said, you know, there's no reason for me to wait. And their reaction to it was, well, we've never done that before. Well, just because we've never done it that quickly doesn't mean we shouldn't. You know, because it's different. You can't police in 2020, you know, like you did in 1990. You just shouldn't do that. But anyway, so they began to understand, though I was going to hold them accountable, but they also knew I was going to be fair about it. And so after they figured that part out, then the relationship started to level out a bit. But the first few months was rough because I was holding them accountable, you know, because let's face it, you know, I'm a black man from Chicago, too, so I know the pain of that type of thing, you know, and we just can't be out here as law enforcement officers willy-nilly just taking shots at people. And I'm not suggesting that's what was going on. I'm just saying that I had little tolerance, you know, if we weren't right about that. So the morale started to go in the tank in 2020 because, you know, again, these specialized units that officers had worked years to get into, just, you know, with a swing of a wand, you know, those units were disbanded and a lot of them were sent back into patrol. And don't get me wrong, patrol and the communities are the backbone of what we should be doing. But in a city like this, you still need to have certain specialized units to attack certain issues.
Now, give me one example of what that is. What kind of specialized units were there?
So, for example, narcotic sales. Beat cops just can't do anything with that because they're tied to the radio all day. So you have to have units that can specialize in that regard and be able to take down, these big narcotics operations. Because if you don't have specialized units to do it, you just won't be able to do it. And let's face it, that's the bread and butter of, a lot of our violent crime and the gangs that operate in the city. That's how they make their money. So that's why you have a need for units of that nature. Now, I will say this. If you have those types of specialized units, it's also important that you have the right-minded officers in there, and you have to have the proper supervision to make sure that we don't see things like we saw what happened in Memphis a few months ago. Because, I looked at that video and I was disgusted because I didn't see any supervisors on that scene at all, and cops will sometimes blur the lines between being servants in the community and then committing egregious, behavior. And that's what happened in Memphis. So there is a need for that, but it has to be really monitored so that we don't have incidents like that. So when you take all those officers and you pull them out of those units, they get dismayed, and that's what happened, unfortunately. And right on the heels of that, the restructuring, the pandemic came. And, that speaks for itself. So that was difficult also. Along with, the pandemic, the George Floyd incident, and then officers in Chicago began to be really scrutinized for everything that they did. And here's the thing, Maze, I want people to understand. Because we now have 24-hour news cycles and just constant reporting of nationwide news, when you have bad incidents in other cities, then people in our particular city will start to relate that to our police department. Whether it's right or wrong, that's just the reality of it. So when you see things happening in Memphis, first thing we think about, especially in black communities, because we've been dogged by police, for so many decades, it's only natural that they say, yeah, I know our police here are doing that too. So you kind of get thrown in that same bucket, whether you're engaging in that kind of behavior or not. So then the police department, go ahead.
No, I'm listening.
Okay, so then the police department has a new mayor, and, I'm not going to bash her because that's just not who I am. I take the high road with things. But the reality is, we saw her, especially in the beginning, coming down really hard on police when sometimes it might not have taken that. Sometimes you don't have to use a hammer to kill and a lot of things I think that they felt could have been handled internally instead of so public. And I tell you this, Maze, the one thing I learned as superintendent, before you open your mouth about things, you should get as much information as you can before you make a statement about it. Because oftentimes in that world, the first or second report you get on a particular incident is going to change. So I was always careful to try to get as much info as I could. So because the rank and file believed, whether real or not, that the mayor didn't have their back, that caused morale to tank even more, and then, whether real or perceived, they didn't think that the superintendent at the time had their back, and I can't say whether that was fact or not reality, but I'm just telling you what police officers were feeling. So that's how we've gotten where we are now. And so because of that, and because of the scrutiny and the nationwide anti-police movement, then officers become reluctant to be proactive because they don't want to get in trouble. And I'll say this, do we have bad eggs in law enforcement? Of course we do. We just have to do a better job of rooting them out and get them out of there. But the majority of officers are trying to do the right thing. And one of the best things that I think right on the end of, right before I left that we did, we entered into the consent decree. And I think one of the things that caused angst in law enforcement, but it's the right thing to do, was the duty to report policy. So if you see officers engaging in bad behavior, misconduct, abuse, you have a duty to first try and stop it, and second to report it. And I think that'll make us better as a whole, because law enforcement has to understand as a group that those things, when you have officers that engage in that kind of behavior, it makes everybody look bad, man. And it takes a long time for that bad taste to get out of the public's mouth. It really does. So that's how we kind of got to the situation we're at now in terms of crime in the city. Because, you know, let's not get this twisted. I would tell people all the time, if you all think all these criminals out here are stupid, then you're not paying attention. Some of these guys could run Fortune 500 companies if they, you know, chose to go in that direction. Because some of them are really sharp guys, you know, but they get into that lifestyle. It's fast money, you know, they call on all the shots, and they just get rooted in that lifestyle. But make no mistake about it, they pay attention to what's going on locally, nationally. They see, you know, how the perception of judges, state's attorneys, being soft on crime, whether that's real or perceived, you know, that's what they think, you know. And I can tell you for a fact, while I was superintendent, I remember hearing some jail calls where criminals would be telling, you know, they make their calls to other people and say, hey, just don't do it outside of Cook County. You know, they would say things like that, and they would say, don't let your case go federally, you know, keep it locally because you got a better chance. Now, whether that's true or not, you know, I'm not going to debate that, but I'm just telling you the feeling of the bad guys out there.
So, Eddie, let me jump in there right there, because that's a point of conversation as well in this. We know, like with the people like John Burge and Officer, what's his name, Guevara, and just all the stories that we've seen, and so many people that have been set free for being wrongfully convicted. And Kim Foxx, our state's attorney, saying that she wants to get the cases right. What role did how do you see Kim Foxx in this, and how do you see the righting of the wrongs that happened to black people at the hands of police in this mix that we're discussing?
So I think that if people were wrongfully convicted, then they should be exonerated. You know, they should be. Listen, I have joined that list of people wrongly accused of things, so I know what that feels like. And if that's the case, then we should try to right those wrongs. Now, I don't know the particulars of all of those cases, of course, you know, but if we have egregious behavior by cops to just get a conviction for somebody, that's wrong. It just shouldn't be like that. So I don't have a problem with that, you know. Okay. And let me just say up front, Kim and I had a great relationship, you know. While I was there, you know, there were plenty of times where the detectives and her assistant state's attorneys weren't on the same page with things, and sometimes it would escalate up to me, and I would give Kim a call, and she never failed me, you know, in that regard. Now, I'm sure this thing where, if you remember, the mayor and the superintendent were publicly going after her, I will say this. I don't know who was right and wrong with those things. However, in my opinion, you don't air that stuff publicly. You know, you do it behind closed doors, because here's the thing, Maze. We both know if you go after somebody publicly, what do they typically do?
Go back.
They push back on you.
Bingo.
Yep, they push back. They push back on you. So if you do it quietly behind closed doors, because Kim and I, we didn't agree all the time, but in the end, we generally were on the same page with stuff. So I think that once they went down that road, there was no going back. And so I think that that didn't help. Now, whether or not, you know, you want to say she's soft on crime, you know, everybody has their own opinion with that. I know that she and I had several conversations where she understood these violent offenders had to be off the street. You know, we were both clear about that, you know, and when we went to the issue of her not really prosecuting like theft offenders, you know, retail theft offenders and things of that nature, listen, we should all have an issue with somebody being locked up for 6 months to a year for stealing a loaf of bread when we have a guy that shot somebody out here and he's out in, 2 weeks. That just doesn't make sense. So I think that some of the things made perfect sense. And then some of the things that we see now, it might be questionable and we should probably revisit it.
Okay, so that's kind of background. Talk to me about right now. So last week, John Catanzara said that there would be blood in the streets if Brandon Johnson was elected. Brandon Johnson was elected. Then he said that, and I was listening to him on another station, and he said that he didn't mean that the police would be outside shooting people. He said that there would be a mass exodus of police officers if Brandon Johnson was elected. He was elected. Was that hype? Is that something that's going to scare people, or should we be expecting that there will be more retirements at a faster rate?
Okay, well, I'm glad he cleared up the blood in the streets part, because they're not going to be out here shooting, killing because we have a different mayor, But anyway, so I will tell you real talk what I've heard. So when the mayor-elect was running his campaign, they put out all this stuff about he wanted to defund the police and, not fill the ranks back up. And then he's since kind of clarified that a bit, that he's not going to take money away. But it did cause some angst within the police department. It did. And I can tell you that I have gotten several text messages or phone calls from people, from police officers, with some reservations. And I tell every one of them, let's give him a chance. You can't go by what hasn't happened yet. Let's give him a chance, because I do think I've had conversations with him, and I think that he can be talked to, and I think he'll listen. So I think because of what's going on with the past administration, that some of the things that they heard him say did cause some angst. Now, do I think we're going to see even more? I think that we're going to have to wait and see. I think that a lot of officers, and let me just throw this in real quick while we're talking about this. So I was at the gym yesterday, and a black police officer walked up to me. I didn't know him, and we started having a conversation. And he said, hey, I have some reservations about the new mayor, but I'm going to give him a chance, and we'll see. He said, because I'm at that point where I can leave, but I'm not ready to, but I will if I feel like we're going to get thrown under the bus again. And that was his words, not mine, So, and I told him, I said, listen, you don't know how to be the mayor until you get there. You don't know how to be the superintendent until you get there. You don't know how to be the president of the country until you get there. So let's give him a chance. Let's see what he does, and then make some educated decisions. But do I think right in the beginning we're going to see a mass exodus because he's now the mayor? No, I don't think that. I don't. Because people are still, let's face it, Mays, they still have to take care of their families. So I don't think that we're going to see a mass exodus like that, because the man hasn't even been in there yet. So I think a lot of that is just, trying to paint the picture that we don't want this guy at City Hall,
Let me ask you this.
Certain people.
Do you feel, so Superintendent, I feel like there is a sit down happening right now. Like, I feel like when I watch police officers now, it's kind of like, hey man, go ahead. I'm not finna get in the middle of that. Is that real, or is that perceived?
No, man, it's. I've had plenty of officers walk up to me and say, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to lose my job, and I certainly don't want to go to prison. So they are reluctant to. I'm just being real with you. They are reluctant to be the type of police we want them to be, and that's why I used to tell community groups, we got to be careful what kind of police department we have. Because I'll say this, Maze, I would love to live in a city that didn't need police. I really would.
Well, do we need police?
Unfortunately,
do we need police, really?
Yeah, we do. We do. The reality is we need them. We need them. And, so we don't want them to feel like that, man. We need them to know that, listen, if you make a mistake, then you're going to get pinched for it. You might have to do some time for it, but then we get you the proper training and coaching and mentoring that you need and put you back out there. When you participate in egregious behavior, then you got to go, period. You have to go. But see, the problem is, like people that work at Target, if they make a mistake bagging your order, instead of getting Frosted Flakes, you get Fruit Loops. But unfortunately, sometimes if law enforcement, police officers make a mistake, something tragic can happen, and that's just the reality of it. So it is real in that they are reluctant. I think that Chase policy scared the mess out of them, because they don't want to get in trouble. They want to do the right thing, but we have to understand as a society, there's no such thing as a perfect cop. They're not going to be perfect. They're humans, not machines. So I think all these things coming together at the same time kind of created a perfect storm. So, I talked to the mayor-elect, I'm going to encourage him to get out here and talk to his police officers, because they will do the job we need them to do. I spent a lot of time in the black community, not just as superintendent, but my entire career. And I never, not one time, did black folks tell me they don't want the police in their neighborhoods, because all of us want law and order. All of us want to feel safe. What they would say to me is, I wish we had more that looked like us, but at the end of the day, I just want them to treat me respectfully and fairly. And I think that's a valid ask, because that's how the cops should be treating people.
Now, how do we get there, though? Because this is a precarious. It's funny because I'm watching a lot of the comments, and it's like, I don't think that for some people, there's nothing that you're going to be able to say to defend police. And then when their grandparents or their mama gets shot, stuck up, or carjacked, then we got to call the police. How do we navigate that complex situation? Because it's funny to me, because I do see people, let me back up. Maybe the media on the 24-hour news cycle plays these carjackings just to hype us up. But is there a real... I don't think we're the most violent city in the country, but I do feel
we're not.
But there does help me understand this perception of crime in Chicago, and why does it feel like it's so intense right now?
So the reason that perception is out there is because, of course, we have the media all over the country telling us that. But the simple fact of it is, Chicago isn't even close to the top of the most violent city in this country. We get so much pub because we're so big. Chicago's the third largest city in the country with the second largest police department. So in terms of the numbers, we're high, but when you look at it in percentages, we're like in the middle of the pack somewhere, so that perception is out there. So now you also ask, can we fix this? And I think we can. I really do. But it's going to take both sides to be open-minded and talk to each other, because you just hit something on the head where some people they just don't want to believe anything the police say, and I get that. I do. But in order for us to fix it, both sides have to be willing to fix it. Because if you remember, when I came on board, the black activists were torching CPD. We couldn't make a step, man, without them gathering up, and coming against us. But I developed a relationship with a lot of them, quite a few of them. We exchanged cell phone numbers, and the rank and file were angry with me for doing that. But I told them the reason I talk to them is so that you all don't have to, and we made a lot of progress by having relationships like that. Because I'll tell you a little known fact that people don't know. The Will Callaways, Jedediah, Jamal, Alita, all those folks had my cell phone number. And what people don't know, man, is when I was superintendent, when they got wind of something going down in the hood, they would give me a call, and we would meet, man, 63rd and Ashland, 95th and Cottage Grove, just places all over the city. We would actually meet. They would let me know what was going on, and then sometimes I would go with just myself, or we'd go together and talk to folks to calm stuff down. So the fact that we were able to get the murders from 700 under 500 by the time I left, that was a testament to not only the police department, but the community members that were willing to work with us, man. But now, having said that, I also understood that I had to get cops in the right frame of mind. That warrior mentality is dead, man. Police officers should be guardians of the communities that they serve. But in order to do that, like I said, we have to work together to mend that relationship.
Let me ask you a question. I know this is going to be kind of weird for you, but talk to me about the connection, because we hear this often about the connection of police to slavery. And how does that play into the narrative that we have that is going on now, where the cops are more like overseers as compared to guardians? There's a link there, and I do think that is a historical issue. How do we move away from that? And so you do believe that there is a connection?
Yeah, I do, because let's face it, the laws of this country, for the most part, were based on Jim Crow laws, especially in the black communities. And it was designed to keep black people in their place and to keep them down. And those things just manifested through the decades afterwards, and nobody bothered to take a look at it or try to address it. And here's the thing, Maze. I'm a straight shooter, man. I try to be as transparent as I can. So if we don't talk about racism within law enforcement, then we're doing ourselves a disservice, because if you don't talk about it, you can never fix it. So I think that the systems that were put in place back years ago, a lot of those things need to be looked at and fixed, because it's just, I've never been a fan of mass incarceration. You can't tell me that a guy that's out there and he sells a bag of dope should go to the prison for 25 years, but you have a guy that just shot somebody in the head and he's out in 10 years. That doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't. So I think that the entire system needs to be overhauled so that it's more fair, because let's face it, blacks are still more apt to get more time for the same crime in this country as a white person. And that's just the truth of it. And until we fix those things, we're going to keep seeing that. Now, I would say this also, though. I think now we have so much avocation for offenders, just like, and I hate to bring this up, but it's just the best example of it that I can think of off the top of my head. But I was having a conversation with a female friend of mine about this R. Kelly thing, right?
Okay.
And she is really pro-black, really pro-black. So she said to me, well, I don't think he should go to jail for all those years. White people have been getting away with this stuff forever. And I said, okay, I get that feeling. However, what about the victims? Because we forget about the victims a lot of times. Who's going to stand up and talk for those victims? And that's why, we can't fix the wrongs of decades with one case. We just can't. And these victims have to have a voice also. So it's really a conundrum, man. It really is, because blacks, we have been mistreated in America for so long. And let's face it, Chicago is still one of the most segregated cities in this country, if not the top one. So there's a lot of fixing to be done, but like I said, man, we have to all be willing to have an open mind, have some dialogue, and pull in the same direction to get it fixed.
Talk to me about the new policing, or this concept that will start to have mental health services deployed in certain places. I believe that Mayor-elect Johnson said that you can't have police officers as social workers, and oftentimes they're deployed in that. How do we make that happen, where we make sure that that the right people are responding to the right things? Right.
So now, I was working on that before I left, and that's some of my regrets, that I left before I could get some of these things to come to pass. So I do agree with him, but here's the thing: all the societal ills have been dumped at the doorstep of law enforcement. Everything that goes wrong they want the police to deal with it. You know, Johnny won't give me the remote. Well, how old is Johnny? He's 6 years old. Well, take the remote from him. You don't need the police to come over there to straighten that out. Be a parent, you know. But people will call the police for those things. So now how do we fix this mental health thing? Because police officers, although we get training in it, we're not expert at that. But we can identify some things fairly quickly, but not everything. So now I wanted to start a program where we did have mental health experts dispatched to certain mental health calls, but the problem is this. When people make that 911 call, they oftentimes don't give you all of the information, whether it's intentional or not. And so the screening part of it is difficult sometimes. And so because of that, you're still going to run into this situation where you're going to have the police go simultaneously. Now, once the situation is cleared, so to speak, where we're not afraid of any violence taking place, now those mental health experts can take over. But just to say right off the bat, you're just going to send a mental health team and not the police, we might run into some problems because, let's face it, when people are in the midst of a mental health episode, sometimes you don't know which way they're going to go. And to just send unarmed civilians or people that are not trained in physical tactics, you know, less lethal tactics, we might run into a little bit of a problem. And I'll give you a perfect example of that. So the new chase policy, right, in Chicago, where the police have to go through certain checks and balances before they decide to chase. I think it's been revised a bit now. But anyway, so the police didn't chase these offenders. I think they were carjackers. They got they saw them, but they didn't give chase. Anyway, a day or so later, these same carjackers killed somebody doing the same thing. And so now the people that are affected that second time want to sue the police, didn't chase them. So you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. So the mental health part of it, I do like Mary Lett talking about that because I do think there is some value in that. But we're going to have to figure that out. So in the beginning, I would say we're going to still have to send the police because you just don't really know all the factors when you're responding to a mental health call until you get there. So I'm a little bit leery of sending civilians over there by themselves initially.
Superintendent, there seems to be, and you know, a difference though now. There seemed to be a disconnect. I feel like when you were the superintendent, even when McCarthy was the superintendent, I felt like there was a rapport between the top dog and the soldier and the police department. There seemed to be a disconnect with let me tell you, when I heard we were getting, what's his name, David Johnson? When I heard we were getting him, because he was David Brown, I'm sorry. He was like a national superhero, like he was on all the TV shows. He would be on Meet the Press. I'd be like, look at that brother. And when he became the superintendent, it seemed to be a disconnect and aloofness. I remember seeing him I was having lunch in Bridgeport. And he came in and, you know, everybody was like, you know, when the superintendent, we see you on TV, everybody, hey, you know, so he sits down and, you know, he has a body guy or a guy that's with him. And he sat at the table alone and made his guy stand at the door on point. And I was kind of thinking to myself, why do I feel like there is a disconnect? I felt like this guy never made a connection to the Chicago Police Department. Is that wrong or is that right? Wrong, right perception or wrong perception?
I think, you know, I can only go by what police officers are telling me. So you would be right on point with that. You know, they just didn't feel like he had their back. Like I heard about a lot of incidents where he would come on the scene, wouldn't talk to them. See, the difference with me is when I went out to different things, I was very personable with people. You know, I would always, you know, it could be some of the worst times, but I would at least tell them, keep your head up, you know, shake their hands or whatever. And like I said, I'm not going to bash him because I wasn't there. So I don't know. I can only tell you what cops were telling me. And they just felt like he just didn't want to interact with them at all, you know. And I mean, you know, everybody's not built the same way, so maybe that was just his style. But no, you're right on point in terms of, and I mean, cops would tell me this: black, white, Hispanic, Asians, you know, they just felt like he just wasn't interested in them as cops, you know. So when you have something like that, they're not going to be the best that they can be for that particular person. And like I said, Maze, a lot of stuff, you know, there's a thin line between perception and reality. And so once that word starts trickling through the department, whether officers have actually seen that or not, it becomes real for them. So, you know, I would hear situations like you just described at the restaurant. You know, typically I would, you know, when they are assigned as your bodyguard, they do have to be on point, you know, but
he can sit at
the
table.
Still have to understand. yeah, you know, they're people too, man. So I was very personable with everybody, you know, but I was from Chicago, so I was very comfortable here. You know, I could go in the Harold's Chicken on 79th and Cottage Grove, and I remember some of my staff that weren't from Chicago, they'd be like, "You going in there?" Yeah, you know, I'm from here, you know. So those types of things don't bother me. But I would imagine when you're not from a particular city, I'm sure it can be a difficult transition, you know. So I don't know where his mindset was, but I did hear just like you that there's a disconnect between the superintendent and the rank and file. Because I tell you, man, there's nowhere I can go right now where cops of all backgrounds, you know, embrace me. They still want to take photos with me. But like I said, I was from here. I came up through the ranks, so it was easy for me.
So let me ask you this one. So we see that we have talk to me about the police levels, the police levels that we have, and why is where we're at a problem, or is it a problem that we don't have as many? They say, well, we're down like 1,300 officers. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Tell me, like, practically, what does that mean? Like, from a manpower, from a staffing, from how much you can do. Talk to me about being down that number of officers. And then I'm going to get to, because I hear a lot of people say, well, people got to live in the neighborhoods that they come from, etc. I've heard that they want to reduce the credit checks, all of that. Talk to me about the barriers to getting people in, but particularly black folks. But before we go to that, I want you to explain what this down 1,300 cops means in our city.
Right. It is an issue. It's a problem because what happens is this. So patrol is the biggest unit in the police department, right? So when I left, there were probably about 8,000 patrolmen. So that's the pool of people that you see in the squad cars patrolling our neighborhoods. But you also have to have the detective division, narcotics, intelligence, the more specialized units. So what happens is when you get down like that, then of course your specialized units are going to suffer and patrol is going to suffer. Now, when you get down that number, think about this for a moment. So we want our cops in the communities to get out and talk to people and be a bit proactive, right? But when you start getting down in numbers, what happens is those cops are tied to the radio all day. For 8 hours a day, they're running from call to call. So they don't have time to get out the cars and talk to people and start to learn who's in their communities. Now, you know, like in the detective division, you don't have enough detectives to keep up with the volume of crimes that they have to investigate, because what people don't understand, so that the guys in the patrol cars are your preliminary responders, right? So they respond and they take the report for whatever crime occurred. Then it goes to the detective division, and those are the guys and gals that spend time investigating your particular case because they're not tied to the radio. So when you get down 1,500 cops, man, all of those areas suffer, and you start seeing less patrol cars going up and down your streets in your neighborhoods because those other parts of the department still have to be staffed also. So it's a conundrum, man. It is when you get down that many, because think about this for a moment. We have a city with 2.7 million people, 33% black, 33% white, 33% Hispanic. You got like 170 square miles of geographic area to this city. Cops are running 24/7. That's a lot of manpower. It's a huge amount of manpower. And if we want to be safe, or as safe as we can be, then you need the cops out there patrolling these streets to ensure that we are. And, you run into a situation to where you start working them on their days off, right? This ain't like building widgets, man. Those cops get tired. You can't keep working them like that and expect them to be at the top of the game. That's when they start making mistakes. So we do have to address that. I hope that at some point we can get to a place in this city where we don't need that many cops. But the reality is we do. So you asked me about the barriers to come on the police department. So people are conflicted about that, because I'm an advocate of the best trained, best educated officers we can get. However, I still understand that you don't need a master's degree to be a cop. You just need you need a morality degree and a common sense degree more than anything. So I think some of the barriers like the credit thing and all of that, right before I left, we had started to relax some of the, not really relaxing, but we had people that would work with you to figure those things out and get you to a point where you could be eligible to come on the police department. Because here was the problem. Nationally, the national experts will tell you if you hire cops that already have financial issues, serious financial issues, then they may be more prone when they get out on the street to take money and things of that nature. Now, whether that's true or not, I haven't seen any stats that actually confirm that, but that is something to think about. I also know, though, that you can have people with no college degrees that could be the best cops and supervisors that you've ever seen. So I think the military kind of does it the right way, where they will take you and kind of guide you through those steps and then send you through certain trainings to be promoted up. So I kind of think that's probably the direction we should try and go in, because look, we come from all walks of life, man, and we suffer financial hardships, whether it's our own doing or something happens. So I don't think you should be, thrown aside just because you have financial hardships. Let's dig into it a little bit, see if we can help you, fix it, straighten it out, and then let's move on. So I think some of the barriers might be a little difficult, but from what I understand, they have been working a lot with people to try to help them get on.
Real quick on that same topic, somebody hit me with it. Talk about the psychological test. Because it seems like it weeds black folks out, and then we still get some killer cops. Talk to me about that psychological test. Is it biased? Do we need to reform it? Do we need to review it? Because I always see, when we see the big incidents happen, I'll be like, well, didn't y'all catch that at the psych test? Tell me about that real quick.
Yeah, so the psych tests, of course, are done by independent vendors. I think that I have some thoughts on the psychological. I think sometimes it's biased against black folks. I do, and I think, and here's the problem. And I didn't learn this until after I left CPD, unfortunately. But some of the problem with the psych process, from what I was told after I left, was that, black people were scrutinized a lot more than white folks. And if I ever came back to CPD, I would certainly fix that. Whereas they may, and now I can't verify this. I'm just telling you what I was told when I left by people that work down there. But at the same token, sometimes when folks of different persuasions would go through and they would see some things in their psychological, they might overlook it, because I got to tell you, man, we cannot have cops come on the department that are gangbangers, so we have to try to root that out. But at the same time, some of these racist organizations, we can't have that either. So if you go into the person's background before they come on the police department and you find out that they were part of these white supremacist organizations, that should X them out. It really should. But I've been told since I left that sometimes that was overlooked. Now, can I say that's a fact? I don't know. But I would certainly look into that type of thing, because some things I think that you can flag before they come on, and some things, Maze, is just unfortunate, but you're not going to catch everything, but you try to catch as much as you can.
Mayor-elect says that the solution to our crime issue is to train and hire 200 more detectives. That I'm curious about that, because those 200 detectives, in my estimation, would have to come, because you don't come in and just become a detective. You have to be a patrolman.
Right.
And then you get promoted from the
Correct.
patrol to the detective, and they're saying that will solve more
Correct.
crimes. But if you don't have anybody to respond to the crime, then there's nothing to detect. Help me understand how 200 more detectives will work.
So 200 detectives will obviously help with the detective division, right? But those 200, you're absolutely right. They're going to come out of patrol. So you still have to continue to hire police officers to replenish patrol. And then when you're talking about detectives, it's going to take them a little bit to hone their craft, so to speak. But 200 additional detectives will help. It will. It's going to take them a while before they really are really good at being detectives. But it causes a domino effect, because you have to get them from somewhere, and that's in patrol. So you have to continue to hire police officers, period. Because think about this for a moment, Maze. The patrol division is the biggest division in the police department. It's like the farm system of the department. But every time you promote new sergeants, new detectives, those folks come out of patrol. So you have to keep hiring and keep new blood in order to ensure that your patrol bureau, the ranks, don't get down to levels where you can't really handle it. So, we should hire 200 more detectives, because the volume of crime in this city right now dictates that. And they are sorely overworked. They really are. I think we have the worst detective to crime rate in the country in terms of how many we actually have to investigate. So, yeah, we should hire them, but we also have to still replenish the patrol division when we do that.
One of the things that is a popular statement amongst us is we want people who are from our neighborhoods to patrol our neighborhoods. How do you do that?
Okay, so people used to say to me all the time, like I said, they never said they didn't want the police in their neighborhoods, but they would say they want more people that look like us. So we have to do a better job. Before I left, man, I was actually participating in phone banks, recruitments on the radio, encouraging everybody to become police officers. I would tell our black aldermen we're going to get to.
Hello? Oh, Lord. Don't tell me the phone. Don't
the phone.
No, it ain't the phone.
Okay, then it got to be him then.
You there? He probably got a call. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
I'm here.
All right, go ahead.
You hear me?
Yep, we can hear
Okay. So we have to.
You were telling
we
the
have
black
to make
alderman.
an intentional.
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Got me?
Yeah. You were
Okay.
saying before you
Okay.
left off,
So
though, that you were telling the black alderman that we were gonna get to a point. I want you to finish that.
Right. I was telling black aldermen, the black caucus, that we were going to get to a point where blacks was going to become the third highest ethnic group on the. It's come to pass now. So we have to be intentional about neighborhoods to become police officers. I would go out there, man, and you have young folks saying things like, "Well, I don't want to be a snitch. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that." But if we're going to solve the problem, then we have to encourage black people to get on the job. The quickest way to resolve a lot of this is if people that understand those neighborhoods become police officers and start patrolling those neighborhoods. But you're never going to get there if we don't come on the job. When I came on the job back in 88, so in the late 80s, early mid to mid 90s, or maybe the whole decade of the 90s, African Americans were coming on the police department like nobody's business. And then it slowed down and now we're at a point in 2023 where a lot of black folks don't want to be police officers because they see the national narrative. They see where, cops abuse black people. But if you want to help change that, then you have to be part of that change. You can't wait for somebody else to change it. You have to take it upon yourself to say, hey, I want my neighborhood to be safe. I want our people to be treated fairly and respectfully. And some of that comes with, more of us coming on the job. So we have to be intentional about the recruitment efforts and convince our young black folks to come on this job to be part of that change. That's just not rhetoric. That's real talk, man. Because the simple fact of it is you can't put more blacks in the neighborhoods if they're not coming on the job. You can't.
So I know I done kept you a lot longer. I got two more questions for you. One, I used to say that Chicago was the most organized city in the country. I remember when the Crips and Bloods tried to come here and do crack, or tried to introduce crack and open up in Chicago, and the Stones was like, oh no, that won't be happening. And they kind of shut it down. Talk to me about what talk to me about what has happened in Chicago as it relates to our street organizations. I gotta say, I feel like the West Side is still organized, quote unquote, a little bit, but the South Side seems to have been broken up into, like it used to be, you could talk to a chief or two and you could get some things in order, and we understood kind of the protocol. Talk to me about what has happened with Chicago and the breakdown. And I do want to ask you, does this music and this drill lifestyle have anything to do with it? Why they can't solve no crimes when everybody be telling you what they did on the video, when there's 32 dead ops and they name all the people that they done killed? Help me understand the breakdown of Chicago's organized crime structure that we knew.
Okay, that's fair. So right off the top, the Latin gangs in Chicago are still highly structured. So you still have that with the Latin gangs. With the black gangs in the late 90s and early 2000s, the police department did a really good job in terms of bringing down the heads of these gangs. But you had no way to know once you did that, it was going to splinter the gangs. Because what happened was, after you start targeting the top dogs, then nobody wanted to be the dog anymore, because they didn't want to be targeted like that, because they saw what happened. All these guys got charged federally and got sent to Colorado, Utah, places like that where nobody would ever see them again. So because of that, the gangs started to fracture, the black gangs. And so on the South and West sides, the lead dogs were no longer prevalent like that. So the gangs split up into cliques. So let's say, for instance, GDs, you used to have it where they all ran under the same banner, same flag, and they still do that. The problem is they have different leadership. And so you can go from one block to the other and you'll have different cliques of the same gang. And so what that caused was internal fighting, where it used to be all external fighting, different gangs pitted against each other, but now you have the cliques of gangs fighting each other. And that caused a real mess, because now you're not at that place where you can go to one or two guys and say, hey, these dudes over here, tell them to cut it out, or blah, blah, blah. Now it's block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood. So you just don't have that organization in as a whole that you used to. And that has caused a real problem. And that was just something law enforcement couldn't foresee, because it had never happened before. That's just the reality of where it is right now. So, like I said, the Latino, Hispanic gangs are still highly structured, but the black gangs are not anymore. And it causes a lot of issues. It really does. And what was the second part of that question?
And what role do you think that the this music and this drill lifestyle has to do with like what's going on, and why we can't solve these crimes when they be telling you that they killed 32 dead ops on the video? I could tell you who killed a whole bunch of people, because I see them on the videos.
I know, right? So I would tell you this. It used to tickle me when they would do that, because we have made a lot of arrests because of what you're talking about. They get on social media. I'm telling you, Maze, we made a lot of arrests because of that, and it still cracks me up that they still do it. Now, those lifestyles, I would tell you this. It does influence them, especially when they get high, because they start living out the dream of what they're seeing. in these videos. They really do. I think when they're in their right minds, not as much. But I do know when they get high, then they start living out those fantasies. And they, I used to tell them, dude, that's a video, man. That's not real life. I remember, I forget which movie it was, when I was a sergeant in the detective division some years ago. And there was a movie out, man, where these guys went up against the police. And I'll never forget, we had a robbery crew on the west side, man, that were doing the same things. And when we ran up on these guys, when I tell you they recited the verbiage from that movie word for word, because they thought, I'm like, this cannot be really happening. But it did, man. They were reciting verbatim the words from that movie because they were so zoomed out, that they thought they were living that fantasy, and it didn't end well for them, So it does affect people, in my estimation. I think it affects them more, like I said, when they get high than it does when they're in their right mind. So all of these things, man, in society now, unfortunately, technology is a wonderful thing, but it can also be a distraction or cause these kids to do crazy stuff. Like you lock up a lot of these 13, 14-year-olds for these carjackings, right? Mm-hmm. And when they talk to you, man, they will tell you, I got the idea from Grand Theft Auto, which is insane. It's insane, but it does affect how they look at life because, let's face it, they're young, man, and they're very impressionable. So I think we just have to try and do a better job of monitoring that type of stuff. But that falls on the parents. Let's face it. It does. A lot of the things that we experience in terms of crime in our city, I think if we did a better job of monitoring our own households, then we could do a better job in curbing some of this crime. And, if parents don't know how to be parents, then we have to reach back and show them how to be parents and help them out. But I think for us in the black community, if we did a better job of policing our own households, then we would certainly see some of this crime go down.
Man, you say that, and then the next thing somebody be mad at you because they
Yep.
put these kids in the world.
Yep.
Then okay, I'm gonna let that go because Bill Cosby got put out the world for telling people, tell your kids to pull the pants up and get some order about your house. Here's the last question, and you alluded to it a little bit, and I'm curious to know because you might be breaking some news here. I saw on the thing on Sunday, on the special on Sunday, when they asked everybody would they come back, you were the one who said that you would come back to CPD if invited. You said you couldn't do a whole nother tour of duty, but you could try to come back and restore some order. One, does the next police chief, first, are you coming back? And then if you come back, does the next chief of police, superintendent, need to come from the ranks of CPD, not from an outside place?
Okay, so what I would say is this. Of course, I'm sure Mary Leck has a lot on his plate right now. Now, we've had some conversations. So I would say this, Maze. Retirement has been good. It has. I will admit I'm getting a little bored. And so having said that, I still love this city, man, and I love the police department, and I still think I have some things to offer, and I know from every bone in my body, I know this crime situation doesn't have to be like it is. We saw the reduction in crime some years ago, so we know it can be done. I would really be receptive to helping get this thing back on track. But like I said on the show, that 4-year thing, man, being superintendent is a lot of work. And see, my ego doesn't play into it, but my love for this city and for the department does. So I would be amenable to helping any way that I could in terms of whether the next superintendent should come from the ranks. I think so, because right now I think it's so important that we get somebody that can rally the police department, get the morale back up, as well as rally the communities and be receptive and transparent to what we need done. You know, I think one of the mistakes that police can make is when they don't get out there and ask people what your concern is. How can we be better? You know, because I was a cop for 31 years, man. So, you know, I look at things through a law enforcement lens, but I also look at it because I'm a black man in Chicago. I look at it from a citizen's point of view also. So I think it's important to get somebody that knows this city, knows the culture of it, knows the politics of it, and know what we really need, man. And this city is yearning for somebody to come in and bring us together, man, because it's just ridiculous to me that we fight each other. We all want the same things. We take different paths to get there, but we have to have more dialogue and collaboration to get us where we want to be. So, you know, I'll help any kind of way that I can, but I do think the next superintendent should come from the ranks. I do.
Okay, and then I'm going to really let you go after this one. Have you ever seen any racism in the Chicago Police Department?
Yes, I have. You know, look, let me tell you this, man. Cops would get angry with me for saying there's racism in the police department. Heck, Mays, I was a victim of racism as a deputy chief in the police department. As a deputy chief. So you think if I experience racism as a deputy chief, the rank and file cops and the citizens of this city don't experience racism? You're goofy if you believe that. Let me tell you this. I think sometime in 2017, I was on the north side, and I was out at a community event, and a white cop walked up to me, and he had about 16 years on the job, and he said, "Hey, Superintendent, can I talk to you?" And I said, "Sure." He said, "Listen, I know you don't know me. I don't know you." He said, "But I know a lot of people that have worked with you before that speak highly of you." He said, "But I got to tell you, I like the direction you're taking us because we get more equipment, more training, you know, more officers." He said, "So I like that, but can I ask you a question?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Why do you have to say publicly that there's racism in the police department?" And so I said, because that kind of caught me off guard. And I said, "Okay, do you think there's racism in the police department?" He said, "Well, yeah, I do." I said, "Well, why does it hurt you so much that I said?" He said, "Because you're the face of the police department. You're our leader. So it hurts to hear you say that." And so I said, "Well, look, because you're asking that question, I'm going to assume you're not racist." He said, "I'm not." And I said, "Do you know cops that are racist?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "Have you seen them do racist things?" And he put his head down. He said, "Yeah." I said, "Because we can have real talk, but we got to be honest about it." I said, "Have you seen them do it?" And he said, "Yes." I said, "Okay, then I'll make a deal with you. You tell those cops that are doing racist things to stop doing them, and then I'll stop saying there's racism in CPD." And he looked at me and he was like, "Wow, I never looked at it like that." I said, "Because we'll never solve this problem if we don't acknowledge that it is one." You know, so I know it's a tough subject. I do. And trust me, Mays, when I tell you this, there are a lot of white cops out there that are not racist, man. You know, they're not doing racist things. They're trying to do the right things. But at the same token, we do have some racist cops. And I know you can't train that out of them. You can't legislate their hearts. But what you can do is let them know, if you come to work engaging in that kind of behavior and I find out about it, I'm going to tap you for it. And if I can, I'm going to get you off the police department. So it's a tough subject to talk about, you know, but the fact of it is, yes, there's racism in the department, there's racism in this city, and there's racism in this country. And until we talk about it more openly, you know, and just let folks know we're not going to tolerate it, then we'll keep having that issue. So that's one of the things that I would address also.
Man, I'm going to tell you what. I expected only to talk to you for 15 to 20 minutes, and this has been almost an hour and 15 minutes, but I think it has been probably one of our most impactful interviews, and I think it sets the stage and a scenario for us moving forward. Superintendent, you know what? It was funny because I saw somebody comment in my comment that's always a contrarian. say that they didn't know that you were one of the most respected police officers, superintendents. But I remember when you were selected. We were actually at City Hall when Ron was going to fire Gary McCarthy. And the buzz was around, and I was texting cops that I knew. I'm like, give me a name, give me a name, give me a name, give me a name. I just want to put it out there, put it out there. And the name that kept coming back was Eddie. Eddie's the man. Man, if y'all can get Eddie, Eddie got the people. Man, and it was, I know a variety of cops, right? And so, and then I had the opportunity to watch that interview, and I saw you. I got to see Jody Weiss, and I got to see McCarthy, and I'm cool with McCarthy too. I don't know Jody Weiss. I remember him walking around looking like a muscle bodybuilder with his official suit on all the time, but he was like very aloof. He felt like a little David Brownish to me. And then I looked at you in that conversation, and I thought about how much, like, what you had to move through, like to be the superintendent, to be a black man after Laquan McDonald, and to have to try to restore some order, some level of trust in the police department. If you couldn't see that, then clearly someone needs glasses. And if you got glasses, then you probably need to wipe them off, brother. Chicago needs you. I think listening to this interview, and whether it's as the superintendent, whether it's the deputy mayor of public safety, I don't know where it is, but I would pray that Brother Johnson finds an opportunity to take one of our own who we know has an affection and a love for this city, to find a way to get you back into the police department. We don't want you to be bored. So I got some stuff for you to do if you bored. We can do some other things out here. But I just want to thank you for taking time out, for answering the questions, and for being willing to be a participant and to try. I think you're right, man. We do need to find a way to be together. We've been so divided for so long. We're hoping that some kind of way we can put it together. Superintendent, is there anything you want to say to anybody before we get out of here?
I just want to let the city know, man, it doesn't have to be like this, but we all have to pull in the same direction. Because, look, I've been all over the world, man, and Chicago, in my opinion, is the greatest city in this world and has some of the greatest people in it, man. We just have to act like we care, and if we all pull in the same direction, man, we can fix this issue. So I just want them to know I love them, man, and I appreciate the support that I continue to get. Everywhere I go in this city, man, I get nothing but love. So I just want them to know that I appreciate that. I really do.
All right. Thank you. That is former Superintendent Eddie Johnson, also member of the greatest fraternity in the world, Phi Beta Sigma, and I'm grateful that you took our call this morning, this text at 7 o'clock, and I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Look, y'all, this is the Mace Jackson Show. We done blew through every break. We done blew all my whole schedule, but we're going to do this. We're going to take a quick break. And then we'll be back soon after these messages.
The Mace Jackson Show. We'll be back after this break.
Tamika Scott. Yeah. As we take this journey through life, we face trials and tribulations. But just know, the enemy is not gonna win. Cause the storm is almost over. That's right, the storm is almost over.
Don't you give up, you come too far to turn back now. Hold your head up, it's almost over. So set up to take you to your destiny. It's gonna be alright. Everything happens for a reason. Yes, this is your season. Just keep on believing. Blessings you'll be receiving. Oh.
Mays Jackson Show. You are listening to the most dangerous show. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio. Mays Jackson. Mays Jackson, the most vociferous advocate for black people in the world.
For Ruthie Moore, for Ty Stroger, I am the host of the Mays Jackson Show, asking every single day, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them Mays said, Mayor Lightfoot, man, we ain't accepting that. We ain't accepting that. Let's go. Yeah.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case, he was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to Senate. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets with hood legends DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on. Let us give bogus appraisals a red line. Car crackers out here getting minimal fair time. And I'm concealed carry, I stay with the pipe. But Illinois gun laws giving minimal rights. Stay up on the swivel, make sure I'm moving tight. Check all of my mirrors when I pull up to the light. Pick my homie up from out of town, man, he caught a flight. He was hella nervous, told him, shorty, this a way of life. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks.
Chicago, wake up world, and Seymour just woke me the hell up. $99. I know you get a free front seat tomorrow at the live broadcast. Don't forget, tomorrow it's the last broadcast. The last broadcast tomorrow.
Yeah, no penny.
50. You know what? You better. I got the penny, damn it.
you know how black people
you
ain't got the penny.
You know what, man? I'm gonna tell you, black folks crack me up because it is the first of all, give us a call 872-259-7474. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Eddie Johnson interview. I thought it was insightful, it was inspiring, and one of the things that is so funny to me, not funny to me. So let me guess, Eddie Johnson sell out too? Like imperfect people expecting perfection. Imperfect people expecting perfection. We're never going to win. I can always find a gotcha moment, especially if I'm looking for it. And I sometimes I think I'm a victim of my own success, because sometimes I feel like we're so hypocritical that we can't even see positives sometimes. And so Imperfect people expecting perfection. And always from somebody else. Last week I wore a shirt that said, worry about yourself. I didn't know how prophetic that was. Now, I gotta say right now, y'all had Jody Weiss, Gary McCarthy, Eddie, the Beck guy, Charlie Beck, and David Brown. That's 4 superintendents. 5, because we got Jody Weiss, McCarthy, Eddie Johnson, Charlie Beck, David Brown. 5 police chiefs that go all the way back to Daley. Which one? You didn't know? Which one? Pick one out of them. 5. Then go back one more to Phil Klein. Imperfect people expecting perfection is part of the reason I'm leaving. Look, y'all, it's the Maze Jackson Show. I'd like to get your input on that Eddie Johnson interview. I was kind of proud of that one. Caller, we got anybody on the line? Give us a call, 872-259-7474. 872-259-7474. You think Eddie Johnson could be a benefit to the Chicago Police Department for the mayor-elect? Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show. What's up?
Good morning, Maze. This is Callan calling.
What up, Callan?
What's going on, guy?
What's up, man? Working hard, getting ready for my extended vacation for my retirement. Tomorrow's the last show. You coming to the broadcast?
I'll try to make it if I can, Maze, but let me tell you something. Eddie Johnson did a good job on the interview, even though Eddie Johnson won't be superintendent again. But that was a good interview. I give you credit there, brother. And tomorrow, if it's possible, you got to get the band back together, roofed in, tied. This will be your last go out with the bang with that. And after that, you take a 2-month, 3-month vacation, some tropical island somewhere down there, you and Carrie, and forget about Chicago and politics and black people and enjoy life. And when you come back from your vacation and you go do your thing, and for you and your family, I'm thankful for you to be on the program, have this program for almost 3 years. And congratulations, brother. Job well done.
Thank you.
And in the future, whatever you decide to do, if you decide to come back and do this program again, more power to you. But, brother, I hate to see you go, but you got to do what you got to do for you and your family. Thanks a lot, Maze.
Thank you, Callan. I appreciate that. My brother. It means a lot to me. I know y'all don't understand it. But tomorrow is it, right? Like, I'm a podcast, but I'm not. I'm going to tell you. And what really confirmed it to me was that sellout meme. That sellout meme, and now the extended version of it, it convinced me that it's like we ain't gonna never win. I'm not saying we ain't gonna never win. That's not what I want to put in the universe. But I'm not fighting this fight. Give us Barabbas. Give us freaking Barabbas. Yeah, how many of y'all? Oh, I think Harold E.K. Williams said one of the funniest posts I said. And I'm going to have to get Tracy Clapp back on the line, too, because she was clapping back yesterday. Do y'all call Barack Obama a sellout when he came and endorsed Rahm Emanuel after Laquan was shot? But y'all ain't going to do that, right? No? Is he a sellout? No, that's our president. Y'all cozy up to white folks as quickly as you possibly can. You find a reason to denigrate any Negro you can, and then I love Mayor-elect. I think he is a dynamic, outspoken, everything that people want to see in a leader, and I'm going to be there, and I'm not going to detract. So I just y'all ain't gonna never be happy. There's nothing that's gonna be good enough, but then you're not gonna do too much to change it. Caller, it's the Maze Jackson Show. The Eddie Johnson interview. Is there a way that Eddie Johnson can be helpful to getting the city back on track? Caller, you there? What's up? Who we got?
Good morning, my son.
Good morning, Sister Zakia. How you doing?
I'm doing fine.
We gonna see you tomorrow.
A little late.
Yep, we'll see you tomorrow. I'm gonna take that as a yes.
Well, I don't know. I didn't think y'all wanted me back there anymore.
Cut it out. Cut it out. Cut it out. You cut it out. You know you is Sister Zakia, and we can have disagreements, and we gonna still work it out. Look, I'm gonna see you tomorrow.
But I would like to send maybe something there. Donations of some maybe bags of the special popcorn mix and all of that. What is the time?
It's 6 to 9. We're doing the whole show. We're doing the whole show live. So anytime you show up, you can't make it.
I don't think I can make it, but I will try and send something to you. Okay, I'll send something to your Zelle, and you can put it in with the show.
Yes, ma'am.
In the morning. But quickly, you asked the question, did black people call Obama a sellout? I want to answer that right quick. Not only did some of us call him a sellout when he came in here for Rahm Emanuel and some other folks, when he signed that same-sex marriage bill, we called him an antichrist because he was supposed to have been a Christian. And so here he is saying, to hell with you, God, and what your Bible say. I'm going to make it a law. Men can lay with men and women can lay with women. So, yeah, he was called worse than a sellout. But I want to go on and say this. Officer Fred Waller, who was a chief of patrol, he is the brother that I would like to see come back. You know, he was railroaded out of the police department by two racist white women because of a statement he made. He was the brother that worked so well with us, and you can ask Jamal Green, and you can ask, what's the other young brother, Mays, that worked with us when we were shutting down North Michigan Avenue and the Deuce Harbor Lakeshore Drive. Do you remember his name?
Say that one more time. The brother who was what?
You remember when we were shutting down North Michigan Avenue and Deuce Harbor Lakeshore Drive?
Mm-hmm.
Jamal Green worked with another young brother. He left Chicago, and that's why I forgot his name.
Jedediah Brown?
I was more familiar. Not Jedediah, not the other one, the little slender one.
Lamont Record.
Lamont. Yeah, he is the one that I was closely associated with, okay? Listen, Officer Fred Waller had a special way that he dealt with them because I observed him when, especially when we laid out downtown in the street during the Christmas holidays. Officer Fred Waller could come in. He had a way with dealing. No, you're not going to do it here, but I suggest you do this and that, because the white policeman was rushing up, wanting to rough him up. Officer Fred Wallace, no. He held that off. He wouldn't let those white policemen come in and rough those young boys up. Officer Fred Waller, who was chief of patrol, should be the man. And if I have my way, if I can get to Brandon, I am going to recommend him. Now, about the need for detectives, and you need to hear this because I think you remember this. The need for detectives during the Leonard Clark and Caruso trial. Remember when Leonard Clark and his friend rode their bikes into Bridgeport to get some air because it was cheap over there. And little Caruso, the son of Daddy Caruso, who was a mobster, they say, he and his boys beat him within an inch of his life. I mean, he was in a coma for days, beat that child to death, and they tried to get his friend. Well, long story short, there was a Latino who made a cell phone call and reported it. But during the investigation of the white officers and folks, they never could find no evidence on who called, how did the police get there? Well, when the detective, when the detective started investigating the case, who was a brother, he found out by way of the cell phone company, I'm sure, traced the number, and that's how he got the Latino guy, because he was on trial. See, I went to the trial every day, and I gave a report that next morning on WBON on Cliff Kelly's show. That is the only way that the Latino guy would come forward, is because the detective had traced him down, because he was afraid of the Bridgeport gangs over there. He was afraid for his life, because if you remember during that whole ordeal, one of the young men that was going to testify on the stand came up dead. They killed him. It was just that heated. It was some ugly times during that time. That's when I got familiar with the real sellouts, because they were taking money from the Caruso family to support his child who had almost killed a black man. Okay, but anyway, I want to go into all of that. But there is a real need for detectives, and I say that because I remember how this brother was able to find the Latino guy through investigating through the cell phone company, and he had to take the stand at the trial. So I'm just saying that, and I want to say this. I'm going to hate to see you go, my son. You know, I'm telling you, whatever good that you're doing as you go forward, call Sister Zakia, because I'm going to be one of your supporters, okay? I want to support you in all the good that you do. I have enjoyed your show. I've enjoyed the family, and I know I might have got on some of y'all's nerves sometimes, but I know so much more than you all know, you know? And so I can see a little further than some of you all can see. And I've had probably more experiences out here dealing with the Negroes, the blacks, the African Americans, and all of the other stuff that goes along with it. So may Allah continue to bless you, my son. Go further and do better. Peace be unto you.
Thank you, Sister Zakia. And I'm going to tell you, your wisdom, knowledge, and history, you know, we have to respect that. And you know what? Like, even if we have some disagreements, I'm always love you, and I appreciate you. And I appreciate you always building me up. And so thank you very much, and I will never, ever forget. All right, caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show. What you got for me?
Shalom, shalom. I want to second everything Sister Play Mama said. You know, it's going to be a space. It's going to be a little void there while you go on, but it's all good. I'm going to have to start listening to them damn Divine Nine people down the street, down the thing again. But I want to speak on Eddie Johnson, man. That chump had my, he lost me when he talking about he ain't never saw no damn. He said he saw some racism, but he talking about he ain't never saw a crooked officer or somebody after him in 30-something years. He can mess me with that. But I don't even fuck with 12. I mean, I don't even mess with 12. But Fred Waller, somebody did introduce me to that guy. I hope they do dig Fred Waller back up. I didn't know he got forced out the situation by some Europeans, but it don't surprise me. And Maze, I think that's your Divine Nine people that's making up that meme, because the guys is on the other side.
We know who it is.
Oh, it ain't?
Nah, we know who it is.
Oh,
and the person, we know who made it, and the person who made it 4 years ago was supporting Paul Vallis and broke up his own organization because he went outside of the organization and they vote. But again, we ain't gonna talk too much about that because I'm through making enemies. But boy. No, you
ain't got to talk about it. Bob Israel said. You just out telling King Israel said. Maze ain't said. I said I love the man. I'm gonna keep popping. I'm gonna rub it in their face. That's what I'm trying to find out. What is a sellout? Because I know those Negroes on that thing ain't did right for some people in the black community I know of. You know what I'm saying? I guess I'm just ain't in the clique. So I'm saying them dudes I can name, I name drop there. So I'm saying I'm in all agreement with the damn Mimian.
And them damn white people was controlling. I was trying to control them. Man, we would have been back in slavery. Valdez would have got back in there.
I guess my question, wasn't you trying to get a meeting with him? What was you trying to meet with him for?
Who?
Wasn't your frustration though built around the fact that the people was keeping you away from Paul Vallis, so you switched to go to Brandon? I'm confused. Because you said it, but I'm just saying you said that.
Hold on. Let me make it simple for you. It was 9 Negroes in the race. So however many Negroes, ain't none of them chunks reach out to me. So I got invited by Mama Wade to a coach's breakfast, and Vallis was there because I retired from politics because I don't want to catch a case because ain't nobody gonna send me $50 every month if I have to knock one of these niggas' noodles out. So all I'm saying is I was gonna make a decision to sit down with Vallis. The chump sat down and agreed with me. Oh, we're gonna have an intimate meeting. And then it never happened. Some nigga, my brother named Reggie Hill was there. I said, Reggie, what's going on? They're going to tell me. They're going to never tell me. They're going to wait till the day of run up. Nigga, I'll make sure you don't make the fucking run up. What you mean? Don't get me started in that. So how you going to tell me you're going to wait till the run up? That's all I'm saying. I don't know neither one of them. But somebody got to be the mayor of this crooked ass town. So I got to see who I'm going to deal with. Do that make sense? Are you clear now? Because I've been fighting all the administration.
Femo. Huh? I'm saying you're so was there a point in which you could have considered supporting Paul Vallis when you was trying to meet with him?
Yeah, because I don't trust Negroes, black, African American. No, they was in the fight to split it. The 4, so the 7, whatever them dudes, man, I don't even want to call them out. They know who they is.
You know who was really in it to split it, though, right? Your man was in it to split it. Your number 6, the number 6, the alderman of the 6th ward was actually the original splitter. Your man.
Okay, yeah, I put him in 3 times. Yeah, 12 years. I wasted 12 years with him. I understand. So I'm saying this. See, I don't do politics. I'm a street fighter. I'm a freedom fighter. That's why I appreciate you coming in and fighting for the freedom, because freedom ain't free, man. I mean, I got on your team because you won the green team. You was over there with Madigan. And when you came out, started telling they secrets, people was mad at you. That's how I look at it. So I say, damn, man, they tried to have me to knock your dreads off. I say, man, I'm not touching this dude. You remember when you had dreads in front on 18th Ward? I think that was a Madigan Daily split over here in the 18th Ward.
That wasn't a Madigan Daily, but that was actually Daily, and that was the 17th Ward. And they were upset because I had a share of. I'm gonna say this.
Listen, you can say less. I don't mean cut you off. I'm just saying. I'm saying from my angle. I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I ain't black. I ain't color. I'm a Hebrew. Black is a color. That's why we messed up now, my brother. That's all I'm trying to say. So I didn't care who you were. I looked at you in your eyes, saw your dread. I said, man, that man, all right. That's all I could say. And then one rest of $500. I don't need these people money. Right now today, I don't need their money. Yahweh gonna supply me whatever I need. Even so, I'm saying all that to say it's 7 people with 9 people, 1 Mexican, 1 white, and 8 Negroes. So I'm gonna go get them Negroes anyway. Y'all bogus for splitting the vote. 6 ward, 7 ward, whatever. Community activists, whatever. They bogus. But I'm gonna get off my damn high horse. So I want you and your listeners to be clear. Now you understand where I'm coming from now. The chump lied to me, said they're gonna sit down. Valdez lied to me, and his team lied, said they're gonna sit down and have a breakfast with me, intimate. I went to a coach's breakfast, January 21st. Mama Wade gave me a call. So I'm naming names. I'm not trying. So I said I'm gonna go listen to the chump. Okay, so he talking to these coaches. Matter of fact, people don't even know me so much. My damn football coach was there, Roy Curry from the Real Raiders.
Is it still some Raiders? Is it still? Wait, does he still coach at that school? Where that school at?
Say it again.
The Real Raiders got a black football field. I don't know. I'm still looking for the Robeson Raiders.
No, Ron Emanuel tore our school down because I just found out who Paul Robeson was. And they tore down Benjamin Banneker.
Hold on. You went to Robeson and you ain't know who Paul Robeson was?
No, I went there to play football because I went to Thornton first.
I love you.
People don't know me. People don't know me. I went to Thornton. I had to take the bus from 71st King Drive all the way to Harvey because my people didn't want us to go to public schools then. Because public schools is a penitentiary. They send you from public school to the penitentiary. What?
I guess Okay, King, I'm gonna let you have that. I'm confused, but I'm gonna let it.
Oh, let's go with that because it's almost your last day. So I'm saying.
Cause I'm not gonna let. I want you to say your piece. I'm gonna let you have it. Then because I don't want to. It's a lot.
Well, my piece is this. Okay, let me lead it in. Divine Nine out of order. I'm a tour with them. I'm gonna let you know that whoever the Divine Nine is, I think they some control freaks. And they down on VON, so I'm going to start listening to VON again, I guess, next week. Because I used to listen to you faithfully. But somebody going to come replace that. Anyway. Hey, man, can you have some Alderman Coleman or Alderman Taylor on? We had to shut down Save-A-Lot yesterday. Them chumps think they're going to just sell us anything and had a bunch of Uncle Tom's Divine Nines up in there Friday. I don't know if you saw it on the news. I'm calling names and moving forward, man. I'm 55 years old. I got grandchildren that's teenagers. And if Vallis would have gotten there, them chumps would destroy my grandchildren. I ain't going. I'm at war. And I don't care for those in the back. I'm at war, man. We at war. I ain't finna let them destroy my grandbabies.
Got it. All right. That is Israel. What's up, Carly on the Maze Jackson Show? Carly, you there?
Good morning, Maze.
Good morning, Miko. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm going to see you
tomorrow.
See
how you just fact-checked right then and there? So sometimes, I hear you get frustrated sometimes. Sometimes people remember, like I have a memory like an elephant when I want to, or when things very important and it stick out to people's character. It stick with me and I won't let it go. I'll just remember. But like the young woman said, when he came here, Eddie Johnson, he gave a beautiful interview. But Chicago taught him. When he came here, he did say he had ever witnessed racism. But after leaving Chicago, it taught him something different. But at the end of the day, and like what changed my stance when I called it BS, is I have a dear friend that never experienced racism until they came to Chicago. And now they know what racism looks like and feels like. So things happen. And people change. It changes people pretty much perspective. And as far as that meme, every time I see that meme being posted, I'll be like, those are the same people that pretty much the at-risk population. And it's a class. I'm so for sure it's a classism with blacks. So the pot be calling the kettle black around here, and I'm looking like, are you serious? You the same ones that will say in a minute that people need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, knowing doggone well they never had bootstraps to begin with. But people gonna do what they do, and we can't see one thing and miss the other. Call it all when you see it and just pretty much let it go. What we do is we let things fester. But once again, here we are making enemies, and the man hasn't even got in office to do the job. You see what you come up with? Because at the end of the day, we still have to see one another. We still have to interact with one another, whatever it may be. And when you see 40 and 50 and 60-year-olds clowning like they too, you have to pretty much reflect on that and stick it right on in the back of your head and treat them accordingly and interact with them accordingly. Sometimes it's good, you know what I'm saying, not to get selective amnesia, because you expect certain things from certain people and don't never let them trick you into thinking something different until you actually sit back and observe for a minute a real change in them. I've seen grown men wailing and throwing tantrums. I'm saying to myself, oh, wow, then how do I respect you when you're supposed to be the backbone? I've seen grown men on their own population use the word, I'm going to exploit this, I'm going to exploit that. I can never mess with you again on any issue. Because now, it took a minute, but now I see where your head is really at. So you have to do one thing that my granny always taught her children, and I was listening as a child because she died right before I turned 9. You have to give people a minute to show you who they really are. Because people have two versions of themselves. And all you got to do is sit and listen to conversations that don't mean too much about nothing. Just their outlook and their opinion will tell you who they really are when they try to pretend to be something else. So yeah, time to get off the radio. It's work to put in elsewhere. And I love everything that you brought to light, because a lot of us in different spaces, because we're so boggled down with fighting in different spaces and opening doors in different spaces, we're not able to gravitate to other spaces and peel back the layers. And you did that. Your daily reports, you did that. And I appreciate you for that. But it's time to put in work. To get some stuff really done behind the scenes. A lot of us work better behind the scenes because you can see a lot of progress. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. And that's where you need to be.
Well, I am going to be behind the scenes, and I feel like, what's that when you talk? Like, I feel like we got like this meme to me is like split personalities. It's like we got split personalities and short memory. Split personalities and short memories. And imperfections, imperfect people expect imperfection. You know, we have to give people the opportunity to learn, to grow, to recognize. And sometimes, even like myself, I had to learn that even when I was a lobbyist, that it's like I'm not special. I'm not above my people. Even though I had money, even though I had relationships, all of that stuff. It's like there's a moment when most of us, or a bunch of us, come into the moment where we recognize that it's bigger than ourselves. Miko, I appreciate you always having my back, even though we don't always agree. But I know that what we know is this, that we always going to be on the same team, and they're not going to be able to split us up. So I appreciate you, sis, and thank you for all your support. Hey, I'm going to take the next call. Carly on the Maze Jackson Show.
Good morning, Maze Jackson.
Is that Byron? Byron, I thought you wasn't. Are you coming? Byron, are you coming tomorrow? You better not tell me no. You better not tell me no.
Guess where I'm at?
Brazil.
Guess where I'm at?
Brazil.
I told you I'm in South America.
You in Brazil?
I can never use that term.
Don't nobody black go to South America. They go to Brazil. Hey, lady, what you doing back there?
Different places.
Look,
there's different places in South America, dude.
Where do black people go in South? So where are you at? So where you at? You in Brazil? Where you at then? In South America?
I'm in South America. Don't worry about where
That's
I'm at.
a big ass continent. You know where you at? Hey, Byron, how you doing, man? I thought you wasn't gonna call me before you left.
I can tell you one thing. I flew over the Amazon. That's all I can tell you. I flew over the Amazon. That's all I can tell you.
Talk to me, brother. I missed you. I wish you would have been there tomorrow, because I do want to lay eyes on you.
First thing up, yesterday's show was a classic Maze Jackson. That's why you're brilliant. That was classic. I said, this brother is just more than excellent, man. That was classic. I love it. I didn't want to call and bust those people's dreams and stuff by saying the wrong thing. I just listened to it. And the way you handle it, it was, rah. Yes. And next thing, Zakia. This brother has operation research on almost everything. He probably got something on me. This guy, you might think you might know more than this guy. This guy has operation research. I heard him say that himself.
Keep a file.
Am I wrong?
Keep a file. And I read a lot, and I study history. Keep a file, Byron. I got a whole folder on all that I keep locked up with a file of everything. So just in case anybody want to get jazzy, I'd be like, remember this day? That's how I'm talking about this meme, because we know who made the meme, and we like, damn, dog, you busted up your whole organization 2 years ago, 4 years ago, swindling them, and now you, for this same person that you calling people sellout for. But I'm gonna let that be. Go ahead, Byron. Tell me some more, man.
Next thing. How many times has Barack Obama, the guy who we gave a whole 4 years and then give him another 4 years, how many times has he been to Chicago to help us out? You may not want to answer that, May, after yesterday's show. But if you want to, go ahead.
Nope, I'm not touching nothing else. I'm not going to be no more controversy.
There
it's all lollipops and roses.
You're brilliant at what you do. You're brilliant at what you do. And he hasn't been here. He doesn't care about the Negroes here. He a library that we can spend $500 million to build, and the Negroes are going to be happy with that library. And all those folks in that area were going to have to get the higher rents and be moved out. And he didn't tell them that. He lied to them. That's Negro brother that I voted for the first time around. And I found out what he was all about. I had to let him go the second time around. But that's okay. They can Barack Obama all the time. They can pay for that library out of their tax dollars. Next issue. Detroit. When Coleman Young came to office, told the white folks, you don't have to be here. Pick your bags and leave. What's the status of Detroit right now, Maze?
Hey, man. Look, Byron.
You don't have to answer that either. You don't have to answer that. You don't
That's
have to
funny.
answer that.
Byron, can I tell you something?
That,
can I tell you something on my list? Because today I was going to talk about business, but Eddie Johnson took up the time. Not took up the time. His interview, but I have the Coleman Young on my computer. I could actually show it to you on my iPad right now because I was going to talk about this in the business and how we got to be careful, but I just didn't get to it. But there is some reality to what could happen, but what I want to do is I want to be positive, and I want to say that we're going to welcome our business community. But I know exactly what you're talking about, and I think I had a client, people calling me yesterday, asking me where they moving.
That was yesterday's show. That was a positive thing. We're dealing with reality, man. See, you and I deal with money the same way, right? We take the least resistance to getting more money. We take the least resistance, right? And I don't blame you doing what you're doing. And I know it deep in my heart, you're going to come back to doing this show maybe 5 or 10 years later because you love the black community that much, even though you love money just as much. I'm just telling you, man. You don't have to answer that. You don't have to touch that. I just know in my heart, you love the black to take the abuse that you have taken. They are intentionally getting rid of this show by just coming at you every day from every direction to get you off the air so you cannot educate these black people. That's what they're doing. It's another symbolism to somebody else, but I can't mention that name because they're going to hate me if I mention that guy's name. They hate him too because he doesn't follow the norms. May you give us the truth that sets us free. But they don't want us to know the truth. They want us to stay in the wilderness, running around in circles, doing nothing while everybody comes and eating at the table, getting here. There are people who come over that damn border in 2 and 3 years. They're driving 4 pickup trucks. I watch them. I see them. And we sit around rah, because these lactate white liberals on the north side are controlling every damn thing we do. If a shoe was put up for office and it has a D next to it, they will vote for the damn shoe. They never vote for their own interest. I told you that, Maze. I'm going to die on that. And my boy Kalen, the guy who called you the first call on the show, it took me 5 years to convince him that the Democrats are just not what you want to support. It took me 5 years. I know Kalen, right? He's a buddy of mine. But it took me 5 years. He had the same damn thinking. And I worked on him, and he finally said, Byron, you're right. Finally, it took 5 years. But, man, I just want to mention those few things. The last thing I want to mention, though, is how many times have a police shot at you? Did you answer that?
For me? Twice.
Yeah. How many times have the police?
Twice.
Or your family?
Twice.
Or your friends?
Twice.
And the answer
my
is probably
friends?
zero.
My friends quite a few times, but me twice.
No, what I'm saying is that people have this attitude that all police are about to shoot them. And all police officers are not about that. Eddie just mentioned that. People have this perception of police. We have to have police. And there's some bad ones, of course. But you cannot treat all police officers based on color, blackness, whatever. They're all individuals. And I'm telling you, I am thankful for the police. And I wish more people would consider that because we need the police. When something goes wrong, we want to call them and we want a quick response. We got to have our police numbers up. The districts are poorly run because there's not enough manpower. And Eddie mentioned that. The police. But if you are running from the police, if something happens to you, that's on you. If you spit it and try to rustle the police, I think that's on you. And I told you, Maze, you need to watch the video from Chris Rock, How Not to Get Your Ass Shot by the Police. You need to watch that video. It's a beautiful video. And if we follow those principles, we'd be just like me and you. We never get shot by the police. I can stop all the damn time.
But Byron, I
And then
did
let me
get shot
go.
at the police.
I'm just trying to go on.
Byron, but I did get shot at by the police twice. Just for the record. Just for the record.
Oh, okay. But all I'm saying is, but I know, but
I
I know
made
your
it
background,
'cause I
man.
was moving.
But you are. But anyway, Maze. Yeah, but all I'm saying is, but we gotta respect up. We gotta have law and order. We gotta have some kind of order. I'm telling you, without order, there's chaos, and there's chaos, there's problems. And the last thing, what you need to watch, Maze, is that Brazil, India, Russia, and China are all trying to transact all currency and Chinese yuan. I can't say the name. But
yen.
They're deviating from the dollar to the Chinese, right? Yen. That's a problem for us in the long run. People don't understand what the consequences of that in terms of the value of our dollar and how much it's going to depreciate and what problems it's going to cause us. But we got to watch that. I know we don't talk about money a lot on this show. And I watch CNBC. That's why I have to call early because the CNBC comes on at 8:30. I have to get my CNBC in to figure out what trades I'm going to make because that's what I do too on the side. I do a lot of trading on the side. And I appreciate your show. I'm sorry I can't make it. I sent Reese my phone number. I hope one day in the future we get a chance to have a little lunch together when I get back in the city.
Byron, let's
I appreciate
have some
the show.
lunch.
And thank you so much for all you do for all the...
I definitely will have lunch with you. Byron, I appreciate you, man. You know, you add a different color and a different perspective to our show. You have some very controversial views at times, but some that are just really based in fact or based in the reality that we sometimes don't want to create. And so I'm going to tell you that I have always looked forward to your calls, whether I agreed with them or not all the time, but I find myself agreeing with you about 75% of the time. And, you know, nobody agrees all the time, but I do think that you have been a valuable contributor to this show. And I think that you make people... Whether you get them going, you know, like Kanye said, he gets them going. You get them going, Byron. And so tell old girl, move over and tell her tomorrow morning in memory of the Maze Jackson. But matter of fact, I ain't gonna even tell you what you should do in the memory of the Maze Jackson show tomorrow. But you have a good time. And you know what? You try and call in to the live show and the broadcast because we're gonna be broadcasting live. And I would love to talk to you on the last day. I appreciate you, brother. All right. Anybody else on the line? Any callers? Call you on the Maze Jackson show. What you got for me?
Professor Jackson, how are you?
What is up, EK? I know who it is. HEK.
Man, so I don't think everybody on that list is a sellout. It's just that people get caught up in these moments to where, I'm going to support this candidate. It's like they just forget everything else. Two of those aldermen supported DuSable Drive. I don't think they was a sellout. Emil Jones, wasn't he the first person to make sure that black politicians supported Barack Obama and he supported Congressman Jackson?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
he didn't support Congressman Jackson because Congressman Jackson was trying to take him out. But he did make sure that as a matter of fact, he checked Mike Madigan because Mike Madigan, when Barack Obama was running for Senate, Dan Hines, an Irishman, was, and essentially. Emo Jones went to Frank Clark and said, "You're going to be with Barack Obama, and so is all your people." And Mike Madigan, from that point on, put ComEd in a box, which we just saw them get out after Emo Jones went through. But nobody will remember that. He was the godfather when it was Barack Obama, but we'll throw him under the bus now. Go ahead. I'm sorry. History counts to me.
You know, that's not just the only meme. I've seen this Kentucky Fried Chicken meme with Paul Vallis' face on it, and again, calling people who support him. You know, you're dealing with the Colonel. I raised the question: so is it the same energy when you have that white Jesus in your church? You know, it's just that, like, and these are preachers, Maze, that I've seen doing this. But you sitting up doing the prayer at the governor's inauguration, doing the prayer service for him, but yet you calling someone else a Republican, and the same governor disrespected two other black people, candidates who was running for office, but as a preacher, you didn't say anything about that. Again, I appreciate your show because you look at both sides, and that's why I say Professor Jackson, because you're teaching in That's why I had to call it for what it is on my page and ask other folks. So is Barack a sellout? Not just because he supported Ron Emanuel. I look at how he treated Dr. Wright in Trinity, and now they write in their books bashing the place. Do that make them sellouts? But nobody says anything about it. Or when Barack said, hey, there would be no community agreement for that Obama Center. When he was over at South Shore Drive, when he said, hey, if you disagree with something, you protest. And had them protesters out there, they can't come in here. I remember that. I'm just saying, bro. Thank you for your show, for opening up my eyes, asking tough questions, and demanding honest answers.
I appreciate you here. I did think that was kind of crazy. So think about this. Hey, I'm going to take him. Riis, didn't David Moore run for Secretary of State?
Did.
Black man?
Very.
How many of the people that's running around, I want y'all to go find me all the Alexi Janulius black people pictures. Again, this is not a diss to Alexi. It's like y'all people be up there grinning and skinning because David Moore couldn't even get, how many black wards, how many of these superstar, super pro black people, not even colleagues. You know, it's funny to me because Sophia King was one of the very few people to support David Moore in his run, and David Moore was one of the very few black people to support. Matter of fact, the only black alderman to endorse Sophia King. Sophia King, who got Balboa changed to, what is it? What's the lady's name?
Balboa, not the street no more?
They changed the street name to
downtown. I was talking about, yeah.
What's the, dang, I can't think of it to save my life right now. But she got the streets changed, right? Remember DuSable? Mayor Lightfoot was willing to pay $70 million to not change DuSable. I mean, y'all, Ida B. Wells. That's it. Yep, Ida B. Wells. It's like the stupidity, right? Like, not the stupidity, the political naivete. And it's not even the political naivete. It's just the willingness to emasculate our own. It's like, it's ridiculous to me. And again, it's not lost on me that the meme creator supported Paul Vallis the last time and double-crossed his team. You know, I ain't gonna even talk about none of them punks that was standing up there talking about all this sellout mess, but then supported Fritz Kagi. Stop it. I ain't gonna talk about how many times somebody was supposed to be black, and then when a black candidate that they deemed wasn't the person, and it's like, man, please, miss me with the bull. It's like y'all it's like this was politics. You can make a decision because you think you're gonna be able to do the best for your constituents. But it's democracy when I'm okay with the gloat. I really am. I think you should be able to be like, we won, you lost, we won, you lost. But that meme is ridiculous. And now these niggas expanding it? Yeah. But it's okay.
So you gotta the meme is that the meme works because the vast majority is not understanding knowledge like that.
That's my point.
So when you put that out there, it to most people it looked like these people sold out the black people because you said he won 80-20% in the black people, right? Mm-hmm. So you put that out, and now because 80% of the people, 80% of black people voted for Brandon Johnson, it's like, dang, so you a sellout. So that's the reason why it works, because unless you are in tune and pulling receipts and remembering stuff like that. That's why.
No, they play on people's lack of knowledge, and they play on your lack of history, and they play on all of that. So again, I'm looking at this clown talking about I was the most disappointed in Jamal Green. Fool, you voted 100% for Madigan every time. Every time. Oh, we can't talk about that though. But the reality is the masses don't know that. Like, that's why the effectiveness of a meme is so effective. You'll be mad if I told you that the people that you think are your champions are in cahoots with the lawyers and they get paid while your dumb ass be out there talking about we're fighting for the people. Well, some people are teamed up with their lawyers because they recognize that the lawsuits and they know your emotions will get them paid. But I that's why I'm quitting. That's why I'm quitting. Carly, you on the Maze Jackson Show. Carly, you there?
Hi, I'm here. It just beeped. How are you?
All right, who's this?
This is your 6 o'clock Saint, Diane Wilson Body. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I am well, thank you. I am not happy to see you go, but I truly, truly understand. I'm glad to have had you as a part of my life. I've learned so much listening to you, even when you were with the other station. You asked about Superintendent Johnson. I thoroughly enjoyed that. And I asked that question because my daughter-in-law, who is a police officer, I have heard her talk about the discrimination that is inside the police department. And it's not always good. It's not good. And Sister Zakia, when she brought up about the incident that happened over in Bridgeport, I think I may have shared this with you before. I was working at Rickabenny's back during that time when that happened. And I remember that boy coming in. I don't remember their names, but not the young black man.
Caruso.
Who went to the air, but Caruso. I remember that boy coming into that restaurant after that incident. At that time, I was the only black person that worked there, and I don't ever recall seeing him in there until after that. And when he came in there, that child was grinning. He was about to start bragging. He saw me, and he kind of quieted down, but they told his dad to keep him out of that restaurant because I was there. And they shipped that boy out somewhere. They moved him out of Chicago for a while. Now I don't know how they got him back, but they moved him. So yeah, that was something else during that time. And I never really thought about how things could be with me being over in Bridgeport working, and I worked in the night times and had to catch public transportation back. I never even really thought about my safety. Even with all that going on, it just did not click in my head. They could do that to a kid. What would stop them from doing me? So, God kept me. I'm still here. I remember that incident. I enjoyed Superintendent. I hate to see you go. I understand when you get Riis to that lobbyist stage, remind Riis it's what's in it for the black people first. And then he can do whatever else. But it's for the black people. So again, Maze, I will continue praying for you. I wish you the very best in all that you do. I love you and Carrie. I never met you personally. I will not be able to be there tomorrow. I wished I could be, just to give you guys a hug. So Riis, I'll probably see you again because you're over at Bowfield. But Maze, I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
You're one of my favorite people on the radio.
Thank you so much.
One of my most favorite.
Thank you.
And I listen to you on YouTube. I shouldn't say the radio. I listen to you on YouTube.
Thank you so much. You know you're making me grin right now.
You are.
I'm
well, you're precious to me. You are very, very precious. You are.
Thank you.
So are you, Riis, but you're very precious.
I just wanted to count in Chicago.
Riis out.
I just wanted to count. I said I just wanted to count in Chicago. I hope that something that we've done has been able to make us count in this city. And not that, like, hearing these calls makes me know that somewhere in the world we had some impact. That's all I really wanted to do.
You had a lot. You had a lot of impact. Lots of impact. I even shared with people outside of Chicago, get on YouTube and listen to my Maze Jackson. Get on YouTube. I can't tell you how many people I've told that. I don't know how many actually did, but that's how much of an impact you made on me. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your call, and thank you for being with us for all of this time. And I'm sorry you can't be there tomorrow, but this call made it worth the while. So thank you very much. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show? What you got for me?
Hey, good morning. This is Mr. Envelope. What's up, brother?
What's up, Mr. Envelope? Boy, you making it you closing out with a bang. You coming through tomorrow?
I'll be at work. That's how I was able to make that envelope right for you.
Talk to me.
Everything that the ex-superintendent Johnson said was the truth. I sent you a text message on the reason why people didn't like him, because he looked out for us. He promoted a lot of us. And from the moment he was my sergeant when I worked over in the Roseland area, he was real simple. He said, listen, people ask you for service, give them their service, and I'll go to bat for you. You do what you're supposed to do, I'll go to bat for you. Yeah, you might make a mistake, but I still will go to bat for you, and we can correct your mistakes, and you can go on and continue to serve the public. So if people say he was negative, I text you is more detail on why a lot of people didn't like him, especially the FOP and others. So it'd be good for him to come back, but the choices that's in the news for who they said the new mayor-elect will support, those are some good guys up there too, especially that Snelling guy. I worked with him in Inglewood, so he's be an excellent choice. He's not no nonsense type of guy. He'll stand up for the people and make a great decision. And man, unfortunately, we're gonna see you leave. You're gonna be real heavily missed, and that's a fact. Now I know when I get off in the morning, I can go home and go straight to bed. I ain't got to worry about fighting my sleep to stay up listening to the show.
Well, I appreciate that. That means so much to me. And man, before you go home, man, drive the car by, hit the lights, go woo woo woo. We appreciate you, man. You know what I'm saying? I just want to make sure that we do right by our people, and y'all make sure y'all do right. Thank you so much, Envelope, man. We appreciate you. Carly on the Maze Jackson Show. Last day in the studio.
Yo, can you hear me?
I could definitely hear you.
Okay, my name Manny French. I'm in the chat every now and then.
I think I seen your name a few times. What's up, Manny?
Yeah.
You ain't calling to curse me out, are you? Don't curse me out on my last day.
No, brother. Look, I'm calling to congratulate you on what you've done, because I've listened to you off and on back when you was at VON, and now, when I'm waking up, I try to, check you out as best as possible. This is my thing, though, because I try to look beyond, and you've been breaking down some politics, man. It's like, me and my sister was like, man, the way he breaking it down, especially the part with the eunuchs in our community. Hey, man, look, once you get done with your little sabbatical after tomorrow, you really need to consider possibly coming up with some young people and teaching that from your perspective and the way you do it, because it's like a layman would be able to better understand it, to the point where, look, politics is every day. I'm getting fed up with it. I'll be 50 later this year, and I'm getting really fed up with it, because we get left with choices that suck. And so, but if we got better people, younger people in tune and not apathetic to it because they've got an idea about it, I guess they would call it civics. I don't remember civics when I was in school. I graduated from Dunbar in 1981. It's one of those things that, bro, you can probably put it to a way that more people would better get it, but they need to be younger. We need younger blood in this stuff. I went to a thing at Dunbar some years back when they were trying to re-implement the trades, and I'll never forget what the principal at the time, and I'm not sure if he's gotten back in there, but Principal Morrow, when he was talking about the trades, he was saying how we as a group, we need to better instill and expose and talk these things into our young people so they'll be better inclined to even give it some type of thought to go into. So I've talked to a group of young people a couple of times, and one of my first questions would be, okay, so who didn't want a car? Everybody would raise their hand, even the young women. Okay, so who's going to go to be the mechanic to fix those cars? Because you can get the parts, but the labor is what'll drive you, it'll drive you to another level. So it's a thing where we have to try to speak more stuff into our young people. But brother, with the politics games, it's like a pie. Politics is every day, but a lot of people really are apathetic to it. Everything we do is affected through politics, and there's different forms of politics. But the politics that we're talking about with Brandon Johnson and Vallis and all these other people, that's every day because people are doing legislation that's going to affect you. Or if it's not going to affect you, it's going to affect your people. So, brother, consider that. I would definitely hope to maybe sometimes link up with you or get something where we can maybe keep in contact. Oh, and I met your sister some years back at the center. Dr. World had me come in the office and talk to her, Tennille. I don't know if she remember that, but, Dr. World would be a guy that would be so busy. Frankie, come in here. And he had me come in, and he got to, going through his diatribes, and we met, and then that was it. I was actually at that time we had a club that he had pointed me over, but yeah, bro, you should consider that because the Unix is going to continue, and that's something we have to think about. Our young, they're the future, they're the beyond. We got to consider that. That could take some of this stuff off the street that's going on if you got somebody in tune to some of the stuff that's, they need, a lot of these young people need better options. I mean, I work with some young guys, and unfortunately, we've lost some, and then we've had a couple that now they're about to do time. So, but the program that we did, we only met once a month. You got to be consistent, but they got to have better options. They got to have better options away from GTA because I'm with that. What Eddie Johnson said, the stuff that's happening on the street. For me, watching my son play GTA, that's what's going on the street. So that's all I had to say, brother. Again, congratulations on your tenure. You've been very effective, so know that. But consider that after you've cleared your head and, went and wiggle your toes in the sand somewhere or whatever, consider that for real. So, but much love to you, man, and peace and the best to you, brother.
Thank you.
As we move forward and beyond.
Thank you, Manny. I appreciate that, man. That means a lot to me, brother. Thank you very much. And I'm letting y'all know today, in my last 2 days, I'm not taking none of it. So if you talking crazy, goodbye. Like real talk. Peace out. Nigga, you wake up to troll, go jump in a lake. Carly on the Maze Jackson Show. What's up? Not you, Manny. Who I hit probably is trying to figure out where they at now.
Good morning, Maze. Good morning.
Good morning. Who that?
You already know this is Charmaine. I called,
Hey, Charmaine, how you doing? Hey, you know what, Charmaine? I forgot to tell you. Carrie told me she saw y'all down at the thing. Y'all had sat at Manny's and had your phones and was taking notes and was going to let us know who was with who. I'm going to have to see that. But what's going on, sister?
Yeah, look, that interview this morning that you had with Superintendent Eddie Johnson was excellent. I truly enjoyed that. And these are the things about you that I do enjoy, that you bring those in the community and you give us an opportunity to hear from a platform where they can really speak and we can really hear where they're coming from. And it also humanizes them. So when I tell you I'm going to miss this show because I have learned this has been like a civics class. I have learned so much about Chicago politics and, all in all, through and through. It's extremely fascinating. But I wanted to touch real quick in regards to this meme because when it first came out, I was complaining about it. I called and I mentioned that I had, issue with it then. And it's like this. We had a white candidate who supported and mapped out a clear, comprehensive plan for the Black community in the Southwest Chicago side. And we had a Black candidate who supported more of a multicultural agenda, received 75% of its funding from a 70% majority white organization, whose about 6,000 teachers might say would have sold them up the river. Okay? It's a slippery slope. So really, what's the difference at the end of the day? We just have somebody who is the face, but he's the face who is supported by 75% white organization, and then 45% of his voters were white. So are they sellouts? Did they sell Paul Vallis out? And like I said the last time, the victory only comes when we win. When we win in the most disinvested in communities. You know, so people have the right to make their choice for whatever reason. It's supposed to be a democratic process. You know, I say congratulations to Brandon Johnson. You know, there are some things that he's talking about putting into place that I really, really support. I like his position in regards to children. So I say congratulations to him, but we got to stop this pettiness, because that name calling, that's dangerous, because we end up ruining relationships in the process. And then that politician goes on to do whatever he's not supposed to do or supposed to do. But by then our relationships are ruined. We need to be working together. Oh, I'm glad. I'm for whoever's talking about moving this city forward. And I just feel, as a people, the worst thing that we could do is to start to tear each other apart. This group think thing it's ridiculous. As soon as it's like the villagers and with the pitchforks and the shovel every time somebody doesn't agree with what you say, you know, and it's divisive. Excuse me, and it's divisive.
I agree. Thank you, Charmaine. I'm gonna tell you, I agree with that 100%. And I know you better be coming tomorrow. You're going to be telling me some excuse about why you couldn't come. But I really
No, I'm coming tomorrow, and I'm bringing some slags.
Oh,
I'm bringing some slags. I'm bringing some from my favorite bakery.
Okay, all right. That's what I'm talking about. Tomorrow, 5401 South Wentworth, Unit 17E. It's called TP. Y'all come check us out tomorrow. We're going to be doing the final broadcast. It's going to be live. This is our last day in the studio. So if you got something, give us a call, 872-259-7474. What's up, caller? You on the Maze Jackson Show?
Hello?
Hey, caller, you there? Hello?
Yeah, hey, Maze. Just calling to, thank you, for what you've done. You've been a true advocate, a true soldier for our community, and it's in a way I'm happy to see you get out of there with intact, because you can advocate for our people for decades, and they'll sell you out in a New York minute. So take care of yourself, take care of your family, and it is what it is, because you got to make peace, with our situation, and many have gone before you, way back, till Frederick Douglass time, and we still, seem to trip ourselves up every time, So, you fought a good fight. You did, you did what you did. I appreciate, you and your crew, from past and present, and, maybe I'll see you at both fields, because I'm definitely going to check that out.
You got to check both fields out. But you need to come to the spot tomorrow. You can't make it to the broadcast. It might be too early for you, huh? You should come by. 5401 South Wentworth.
I'll try and stop by. And shake your hand and
get your donut, get your cup of coffee,
and give you my thanks.
I appreciate you, bro.
I'm sorry?
I said, and get you a cup of coffee and a donut, because we're going to be giving it away. And I think Peaches is bringing us some food, too. So you got to come on through, man. I'd love to see you.
Cool. All right. Bet.
Appreciate that. Thank you for your call. Anybody else on the line? Call you on the Maze Jackson Show.
Hello.
Hey, caller, you there?
Hey, Maze. This is Cassandra Curry. How are you?
Look at my Cassandra calling in. What's up, Cassandra? How you feeling today?
I'm doing wonderful, and it was so wonderful talking to Carrie down at Manny's the other day.
Oh, y'all was together?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, look at that.
He was sitting across. We were sitting across from each other.
Got it. Okay, so talk to me. What's going on?
Well, first I want to say It has been a wonderful ride with you, and I got to be transparent because I'm not one of the phony people. When you first came on that other station, I was like, oh, I don't know if this boy gonna make it. But I want to tell you, I have so much respect for what you have done, what you continue to do and try to do to educate our people. And I just want to tell you, brother, you are a phenomenon. And that I wish you all the best because I think you can do more good for us behind the scenes than you are getting kicked in the teeth in the spotlight. So I'm wishing you all the best as you go back and do your thing for us. I just wanted to get that off the top. Love you. I'm going to try to come down tomorrow for a minute. I'm going to see if I can do that. Okay. But I just want to tell you that Manny's piece the other day, that one was hilarious. Paul Vallis's, I just want to say this real quick. The Paul Vallis entourage was so tiny and so small. And it was like no energy. Literally by 1:30, I really kind of knew that Brandon had this thing because when his entourage came in, they came in like about 11:15, and it was just Paul and a few other people, and then Jesse White and Chuck Bowen, and then that was that little group. It was a table of like 5 little people there. They really didn't have an entourage, and then finally Jamal came in a little bit later, but no entourage. By 11:15, oh my God, Manny's got packed. People were packing Manny's out for Brandon. And it was so good to see. And I mean, so many of our very popular and very known politicians came out to offer their support and have lunch with him. And it was just really, really nice to see. So I think this brother has the ability to really take us somewhere. We have to learn. We all learn as we go along. We get thrown into the lion's den a lot of times, pardon the pun, but that's how we learn. It's baptism by fire. But I hope he makes the right steps, and I hope that we all help him make the right steps. I was very appreciative of what Superintendent Johnson said this morning, that he was willing to offer up his help because it takes people who've been there to help those who are coming behind you so you don't make the missteps. And for most of us, any of us who have been in government and politics in our lifetime or work for government, we know missteps are easy to make, but you have to stay on key. You have to do what you know is best. And more importantly, don't lose your integrity. Don't lose your soul. You stand up for what you believe. You take it to the grave with you, because in the long run, you'll be able to look at yourself in the mirror and know that you did the right thing. Don't worry about all this other stuff people have to say about you. Don't worry about it. If they don't like it, it's too bad. You keep your integrity, because your integrity and your word is your bond, and that is the strongest thing that you have. And, brother, I love how you stand on your conviction. You keep on telling the truth. You keep on doing what you need to do. And I can't wait for the podcast and hope to see you and connect with you at another time. But just want to say love you. And, you just keep on keeping on.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the call. That means a lot to me. Y'all know y'all making me blush. All right, caller, you got the call. What's up? Hello, caller, you there?
Hey, what's up, bro?
What up, Devo? How you feeling, Mr. Prez?
Hey, I'm feeling great, man. I just been busy all week, just monitoring the situation. Really feeling and really encouraged. Congratulations to Mayor-elect Brandon Johnson. Definitely want to keep the lines of communication open, and I'm really excited, bro. This is a whole new season. We are embarking into spring, which means that we are re-emerging, we are re-awakening. So, just giving the people encouragement on the new things that'll be coming out. And shout out to everybody. Shout out to Cassandra. Shout out to Desiree. Shout out to Regina. Just shout out to all the team, man. It's a team effort. And it's collaboration, inclusion, openness, just an area where you can be yourself and communicate and try to learn and heal. And, if that's a space for you, then Worcester welcomes you. You know what I'm saying? So, we demand a lot from people, but I think that demand is worth it because we're all on this journey where we're really trying to make this stuff better for these kids. And, again, the youngest member of Worcester is very young. So it's a reason why we want to always grow and be better. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you for your transparency. Thank you for your honesty. That's dangerous. And you a man, and you a man's man, and you my partner, bro. So shout out to Riis. Shout out to the team. Shout out to everybody, man. Y'all go out here and make something productive. I love y'all. And let's make it better, man. All we can do is keep working and keep grinding this thing out, bro.
And tell Tegan, have fun on spring break, man. And tell her to smile. Don't be mad at everybody, man.
Hey, because if there was any other question other than yes, Tegan, it was gonna be a problem. So if y'all know my baby, y'all know she all the way Chicago, but she appreciates you and your wife, and even at this young age, she values what we do and she understands. And I think your gift is your ability to teach politics in a way that Gen X and millennials can understand it. And, that's dope to me, bro. But you put the work in, you're a hard worker though. See that? And what did you say? You give them a rope, they're going to be a cowboy. So everybody in the audience, watch out for all the cowboys. Y'all can support all the cowboys. We still love y'all either way. But just this is going to be a funny time, man. And I'm just really happy. I'm happy in my own life. So I'm happy for us, bro. So you do your thing. Salute to you, man. I love y'all. And safety first. Y'all don't be messing with my mans and playing with my people, bro. You know what I'm saying? So don't get your chest caved in. But other than that, we good, man. And y'all have fun. And we'll be in touch, bro. But y'all have a positive day, and I love y'all, man.
I appreciate you, Mr. President. Love you back. All right, that's it, Riis. We got another call? Call you on the Maze Jackson Show.
Hey, Maze, this is YouTube Jerome, man.
What's
really
up?
Appreciate
Jerome
what you've
Williams?
been doing.
What's up, Jerome?
Me.
Man, I appreciate you always doing your thing.
I collect comic books and newspapers, man. I've been with you since the Defender days.
Oh wow. Oh man.
Man, I was at you and Charles's first outing at South Holland's Wintros.
Oh, I remember that too when we did the Can you woo woo woo? Can you woo?
Yeah, I've been
woo,
with you, man.
Man, you going back. That's history for real.
Love you, man. I'm glad you opened up that super chat. So I'm not on these social media sites, man. I'm serious, but I joke a little bit, so I may be a troll if I was on Facebook and all that, man. But I appreciate everything you've done, and that super chat, man, allowed me to support your program
and you consistently support it, brother, and I'm so grateful for it. That's why you get a seat in the front.
Not a problem. Yeah, I'm gonna try to make it tomorrow. I work way out here, man, in O'Hare. Do claims for Southwest, so
oh, you do? Send me a personal text, man. Send me a personal text. I think I lost something on Southwest. Nah, man, you work at. Oh, that's right. O'Hare Southwest is at O'Hare now.
I'm about as far northwest of Chicago as you get where I work at. So
okay,
but I'm a try to make it out there. Like I said, I made your first outing, so this is gonna be your last one. So I'm gonna try to get out there also. I really appreciate you with everything that you do. I don't miss these people, man. I've learned just so much from Lana and Misinterpreted, Dr. Andre Byron. Man, you just a breath of fresh air in the morning.
Thank you, brother. That means so much to me.
The good thing is now I'm going to start being able to get some work done.
Me too.
Yeah, I come in at 6:30.
Me too.
So yeah, I'm on your platform then, and the engagement here. So I'm putting comments in, and I'm learning at the same time, man. I'm really gonna miss you.
Well, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you that means a lot to me because you know what? It's funny that you build this community online, and some of these people you may have not the same with you, but we haven't laid eyes on some of these people in some cases, and it's like we've built sort of this online community / family that we got the good guys, the bad guys, the talk smack guys, but whatever it is, man, it is our own piece of the universe.
Man, I feel like I know you're Reese. I feel like I know Misinterpreted, Miss Dr. Audrey, man. It's like family here, man. Real family, real talk.
So,
real family.
Jerome, when I put the podcast out, you going to be down with us?
I followed you since your Defender days.
That's right. Hey, man.
Yeah, made your first outing, man. I just saw I want to call in.
That means a lot to
me. See you there
me.
tomorrow.
Okay. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, Jerome. And I appreciate you, man. You show up every day. You be right there. And you have been a consistent contributor to the organization. So I'm just telling you, you got a space with me all the time. And I look forward to our next journey together. I appreciate you, brother. Anybody else, Reese? It's another call. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show. Last day in the studio.
Hello.
Hey, caller.
Hey, how you doing, Maze?
All right. Who this?
Oh, this is Brother Jerome. How you doing? I just want to congratulate you. My name's Jerome also.
What's up, Jerome? Jerome?
Yeah. What's up? I met you doing a campaign when your wife was running. And I saw yesterday at Manny's. I just left the medical examiner's office. My friend Jermaine Pelter passed in the fire, and it was a somber moment. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I just wanted to congratulate you, and hey, I wish you come back on the air. And Eddie Jackson did say it like it was. Eddie's a good guy. He's a police officer, and he knows what he's talking about. And I wish you would tell who put that meme out, but I know you can't. I hate when people do that, try to divide and all that type of stuff. It's crazy, but people gonna be people. But like I said, hey, it is what it is. But I congratulate you and tell your wife, Jerome said hi. She know I'm from Chatham Cole Park. I support her and her dad back in the day. And hey, do your thing, man. I'm gonna try to make it to the thing tomorrow. And when you see my face, you'll know exactly who I am.
All right. I believe it. So you make sure you come through tomorrow. Get you some I see this menu from Peaches, and it's getting ready to be off the chain. So I'm going to tell you, come on through tomorrow. I want to see you, Jerome. I appreciate you, man. Jerome in the house. All right. Anybody else, Reese?
All right. Now, I don't mean to be rude now, but I got somewhere to go to. We got 6 more calls.
Okay. So look, y'all. Look. So this is what we got to do.
7. They call it in right now.
All right. So let me do this. Let's take the calls. I wish I could do it from right here because I don't want to cut nobody off. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show. Let's do it. Can you do it for me quickly? Because I do want to take everybody's call, but Reese say he got to go. What's up, caller?
Peace, Brother Maze. This is Anthony Muhammad from Atlanta.
ATL Big A, what's up? And tell Sister Karima I said hello. I love y'all, man. I'm super proud of y'all, too, man. I see y'all blowing up the world with I was like, who do non-alcoholic wine? Well, now I see y'all, man. I believe. But, we've been going back because, you brother Anthony Muhammad. But, I remember you when you was Tony Rome. What's up, brother?
Man, I just wanted to express my own personal gratitude and I guess testimony of just how much value you have added to my life and my wife's life as well since you've been doing this platform, even before then, but definitely since you started doing your own thing. You have invited us to sit in and help co-host your show on 2 occasions. You allowed us to feature our non-alcoholic wine the first time, and the second time you gave me the opportunity to invite people to talk about the cityhood movement going on here in the Metro Atlanta. You have been most gracious and most giving of yourself and your time. I remember I called you one day and you gave me some free game on how I should move in terms of supporting somebody who was running for a congressional seat here in Georgia. Man, and just so many other ways that I really, I know Reese got to go. But even like Reese, he is an extension of the value that I've gotten from being connected with this platform. Because of you, I was able to have a
get some tech support with Riis one day to help my wife's podcast one time. And in terms of this community, I really developed a family where you're talking about the likes of Brother Devin or Sister Janessa and Ness, who have invited me in their home. They broke bread with me. You know what I mean? To get to meet virtually Sister Falana. And then to see how you also demonstrate conflict resolution to get through issues that you may have had with people in the community in the past. And it's just been a wonderful thing. And also to see how you love that black woman, your beautiful wife, man. I just can't say enough about just how much my life has had value added to it because of your presence and what it is that you do and how you do what you do. And last thing I'll say, brother, with respect to my wife, just wanted to share with you as well as the audience, I guess, that she is, as of tomorrow, she'll be 20 weeks pregnant with twins. So we're expecting twins by God's grace and mercy to, come on the scene somewhere between the third week of July and the third week of August. So I just ask for the entire Worcester family to please keep her and keep those babies in your prayers. But other than that, Brother Mays, I love you. I wish I could be there tomorrow, but I'm not due to be back up top until later in the month. But I'm gonna reach out to you, man. I know you're busy, but
we gonna have lunch or dinner. Let's get the family together, then let's go to dinner.
Okay, man. Well, I appreciate you, brother. Love you, man. Much love to your sister. She, again, another thing, an extension, man. Sister Tanel opened up and was gracious to cover us, me, my daughter, my son-in-law, Eric, Unbreakable Kicks, and my granddaughter, Ann Karima, for a beautiful breakfast at Peaches, man. So I'm just saying, this has been a blessing all the way around, man. We're going to miss you, brother.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. All right, y'all. Look, Riis we got to move the stuff. So I'm going to tell you, I need you to, I don't want to disrespect nobody, and I'm telling you I appreciate the love. Can y'all do it for me in like 30 seconds? I appreciate you. I really do, and I don't want to be disrespectful, but can we do it in 30 seconds? Every voice that calls, though, it means something to me, so I do want to hear from you. Carly on the Maze Jackson Show.
Okay, here's my 30 seconds. I've been waiting for you to just say it. So I'm calling you to just say, me and Blake Turner start our day every morning with you, and I don't know what I'm going to do next week.
That is Senator Doris Turner calling all the way from Springfield, Illinois. Thank you so much. And
I'm gonna miss you.
Well, you ain't gonna miss me because I'm coming back to Springfield, so you're gonna be seeing me every other day. And I'm probably coming over to your house because I'm gonna be hungry for dinner. So I'm gonna be calling Blake to say, tell your mama what she cooking because I got to come down there and get some work done.
Best barbecue in the world. That's what Blake's daddy cooks.
Okay, well,
so come on.
We'll
coming. We'll be waiting on you.
All right.
We'll be waiting on you.
I love you. I love y'all both. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much. Next caller. What's up?
Thank you for taking my call, and God bless us and continued prosperity. And thank you, Riis, for letting me in. This is Stevens, and as always, or the thing that I would say is to stay with a counter-racist mindset, because that's the thing that besets us, and that's the thing. And thank you for, even if you think I am crazy or so, but thank you for allowing me to speak when I do, and in the comments and so. But and thank you for at least maybe taking the understanding of that there is counter-racism science. And I just employ yourself, everyone, to do counter-racism science. And then everything else will kind of fall into place. But so thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Blessings to you continually. Good blessings.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Caller, you on the Maze Jackson Show. Caller? Hello?
Hey, good morning, Maze. How are you, sir?
All right, who there?
Hey, this is DK Hughes calling all the way from Columbia, South Carolina. I shared the birthday with my man Riis, 20 March. I like it. Just want to say that I appreciate everything you do. I'm going to miss you in the mornings, man. My boy turned me on to you at work. He came down here from Boston, Massachusetts, and turned me on to you when you were on WVON. Been listening to you ever since. You are a great mind, a great person. Everybody that worked on the show with you nothing but gratitude, man. And I wish you well, and you will definitely be missed, my brother.
Thank you, and that means so much for me. That's Atlanta and South Carolina. So I appreciate you. Long distance. All right, that's it, Riis. All right, y'all. We got to get up out of here because we got to get the stuff moved for the live broadcast tomorrow. My name is Maze Jackson. I am the host of the Maze Jackson Show, where every single day we ask the question, what's in it for the black people? And if you don't like it, you can still tell them. Maze said, we out of here. Peace.
Let's get down to business and go ahead and address the facts, man. Lightfoot seems more lesbian than black. Rahm Emanuel's another case. He was just as tired. 50 closed schools left much to be desired. Police had Anjanette naked on that body cam. They suppressed the footage so it couldn't touch a lot of hands. Reminds me of that 16 shots in that cover-up. Both of them similar, so I went and dug it up. George Floyd killed, a lot of riots happened in the town. Southside burned and they wouldn't let them bridges down. Grandmother sick, need a prescription and plus a couple groceries. You gon' have to travel just to get it now. COVID-19 out here shutting all the business down. Not enough SBA loans to even give around. So many failed businesses that you could put them in the pile. If you don't survive the pandemic, it's gon' sit you down. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. We sing, dance, play ball, entertain, and crack jokes. Government infested black neighborhoods with crack smoke. System that milked us so bad, we got lactose. Still trying to find out what's in it for us black folks. Shout out to Willie Wilson, hope one day you get to send it. We need some different players in the game to handle business. Too many shady characters like Madigan and Blago. But when you really break it down, it's typical Chicago. City full of gangsters, it's what the land was built on. Same streets where hood legends DNA get spilled on. Carjackers out here lurking, trying to get they steal on. Looking for a block to put them Hellcat wheels on.